everybody. Pop culture curator here. So good to see you. It's a Monday night, so we are back with another episode from the classic series Lost and Space. And before I forget, the first thing I want to say is PvP. What was that you were going to say before? I'd already hit go live, so I couldn't stop it.
Oh, it's nothing major. I just wanted to mention you've got the the little thing in the top right. It's from another episode, not this one.
No, I don't usually change that for each episode.
Oh, you
It's just
don't?
like
Oh, okay,
no,
okay,
yeah, I know it's the robot inverter, but
yeah.
that's actually the one I've been using now since we started.
Oh, okay. I guess I just didn't notice it before.
I could
I,
change it for
I
you
only
yesterday.
I only noticed it when we had the trailer for that episode, and I was like, "Hey, that's the GIF we've been using this whole time."
Exactly. I do need it. Since you guys mentioned that and bring it up, I do need to change it up every now and then. At least add a little bit of spice. But I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. Thank you for your patience and waiting. I know I'm running a little late tonight, and the reason why is because as you can see, I've got a new overlay here, which is like a frame around my StreamYards. Um, and I was tweaking that up. I mean, literally right till the last minute. When that's the reason why, in fact, that's why I'm 15 minutes late is because I was trying to tweak it. I'm having to adjust. I'll make this quick. Is usually when we do our video slides, they have subtitles along the bottom, and I have to adjust all the little rocks and the robots and all that where they're not blocking the subtitles. I can block the sides of the frame, the video, and parts of the top as long as I don't block the subtitles. So that's basically what I was doing. But anyway, first of all, I wanted to. Second of all, I said hello to the chat. I mean, first I said hello. I'm sorry, my mind's going like 100 miles a minute. First, I said hello to the chat, which is always important because you guys were very patient and you've been waiting. And now I want to say hello, especially to my fellow panel members. How are you doing tonight, Gorilla?
Oh, it's been a long day, but besides grabbing the wrong sandwich from the gas station there, so now I'm gonna find something else for supper.
Well,
I got my new.
you can't just take the cheese off of it?
No, it's all melted together.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, nah, it's fine. It's not your fault. It's my fault for not paying attention. But I got my new modem. Everything's run faster, so hopefully like my Waltons and my watch parties will run smoother.
Well, I'm sure they will. Anything will be an improvement. And it's always good to know that it's the modem and not your computer. Obviously, it's cheaper and easier to replace the modem, right?
Yeah.
And hello to Antiderivative Jill. How are you doing tonight?
Absolutely lovely. I'm very glad to be here tonight. Thank you for having me on to talk about this pretty cool episode.
It is my pleasure, and we're even
mhm.
happier to have you here, Jill.
For sure.
PvP, sir, how are you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Day went by fairly quickly, so that's always nice. So yeah, nothing I can think of to complain about. Everything seems to be pretty good today. So yeah.
That's always a good thing, right? I guess we're
Oh
blessed the
yeah.
fact that we're just able to be here.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it's always nice to finish the workday and head over to the Lost in Space stream to have some fun. And yeah, I thought this was an improvement episode wise this week. I actually enjoyed this one quite a bit.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I was
Yeah,
wondering if
this one
somebody was.
had this
Go
one
ahead,
had
Jill.
something to say. I enjoyed it.
It was
I think so
entertaining
too.
too.
I think so too.
Very
I had a good
entertaining. Oh,
time
sorry.
watching it. Well, I know we'll be getting into it. We'll be covering a little more, but I know we always say this before, but it's always nice to see when the rest of the Jupiter 2 get a little bit of lines and a little bit of screen time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And especially John Robinson. This is a big episode for him, I think.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. I know we talked about last week how Mark Goddard, aka Don, was complaining, the actor, about not getting enough screen time. So he got a little bit more this week. I don't know if that's going to continue, but I guess we'll find out here as we continue and keep going. And it looks like
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like,
there he is.
why would Nico's second choice next to John be
Yep.
Dr. Smith versus Don?
Well, because remember, well, according to the plot, Don and uh, Professor Robinson refused because they know that there's a hook to it.
Did
Or,
Don? I don't remember anybody asking him.
oh no, they didn't even mention that. But I'm guessing it's the fact that only Dr. Smith is dumb enough to fall for it. I'm guessing
For sure. That works.
he's always the biggest sucker in the book. How are you doing, Stone Racket? So good to see you.
Not too bad. Sorry I was late. I just got back from celebrating my youngest nephew's birthday today.
Very cool. I hope you had a good time.
Oh yeah, we all had a blast. It party lasted a little longer than I thought. I thought I'd be here in time, but I ran a little late.
Now, just to clarify, this is a cake and ice cream kind of party, right?
Yeah, and my youngest nephew, guess how old he is? He's 22 today.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on. Oh, never. Wait. This lost space. I was gonna say you can't take him to out to a certain club there since he's old enough.
I guess you could.
I don't want to take him to one of those clubs. No. Naughty.
Right, and you especially don't want that certain club to get raided while you're there.
Yeah, leave that.
Well, I did get him. What I got him for his birthday was 7 Marx Brothers movies.
Ooh.
And if we know our Marx Brothers movies, in the Horse Feathers, there's a speakeasy scene, and that so
That was probably before the Hays Code, or no?
that was actually before the Hays Code hit in. Basically, it went full effect in 34, and Horse Feathers, I believe, is from 32.
Oh yes.
But
they maybe get away with a lot of raunchy stuff before that code came.
Well, it wasn't too raunchy. I mean, it's actually is a.
Well, I don't mean. Right, I don't mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The other in particular, but I mean Hollywood.
Right. There's a lot of nudity and some racy stuff, and some other productions for sure.
Yep, I have it. There's a Harold Lloyd short where he flips off the camera.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Silent movie, yes, a silent movie.
Oh,
that's hilarious.
Wow.
Oh, speaking of racy and nudity, there, well, we should say hi to our chat.
Hi, chat. Okay, let's move on.
Chat. No. So good to see you all, everybody. I hope you're all having a great time. And it looks like the first person is LDG. Free the net. Congratulations, everybody. He's got so many thousands of subs now. I lost count. I think the last I heard earlier today was 11,000 or something.
That's it.
Astronomical. Well, no, I'm sure by now it's higher.
No,
Yeah.
he was in the 500s. I even passed him up, and then all of a sudden he was at 1,000, and then 11,000. It's amazing.
It is, and he deserves all the credit. The guy's smart. He knows how to use the system. Let's just hope that YouTube doesn't figure out that he knows how to use the system and then change the rules, right? But yeah, congratulations. Yeah. And LDG, if you can see your monitor, I listened to your advice about making overlays for my streams. So that's what you see here is my overlay. I'm still tweaking it. I'm going to see how much of the video screen that it actually covers up, because I do want to minimize that and hopefully get less copyright warnings. And this is all thanks to the advice of LDG, everybody. So I made an overlay here. It's that frame you see. I made it for Lost in Space, and I also made one for Gilligan's Island, which I'll be premiering on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's really cute. There's a little robot I don't recognize in there.
Oh, there may be a few things here that you haven't been introduced to yet. And Antiderivative Jill in the chat says, "Oh, cool. I thought I was late, but I am not. No, definitely the blame goes on me tonight." And Edge of Time, hello, Edge of Time. I hope you are doing well and keeping warm. Morning, Sam. Good morning, Ralph. Oh, that's right. The coyote and the dog from the Warner Brother cartoons. Pleasant Valley Picker says, hello. Yeah. Edge of Time says, someone bites the dust. Queen, there is another. Yes, I love it.
And hey, Edge of Time.
Edge of Time says, greetings from the Edge of Time. That's Pleasant Valley Picker CA says, worked out well. I just finished watching the episode a few minutes before 6 p.m. Perfect. All right. I'm glad. And Edge of Time says, people seem to remember the 80s is colorful, but I recall a whole lot of wood paneling. Remember when McDonald's was yellow and red? Return of the beige bistro. I agree, but I do have to say this. Back then, at least fast food, think about this. I'm sure next time you go into any fast food place, I don't care if it's McDonald's or Burger King or Taco Bell or whatever, they used to actually have padded seats and benches back then. They don't anymore. Now they're all hard plastic or metal because they don't want you sitting in there very long. They want you to eat and get out. And so it's called hostile architectural. Hostile architecture and hostile furniture. There's actually a name for that. Edge of Time says, I wonder what Ronald Dunn did. McDonald's seems to have put him on hiatus. I don't know. I don't watch TV, but that is interesting. Do you guys agree?
Well,
Yeah.
Anybody notice that McDonald's used to look all happy and joyful, and now it looks like it's going through a midlife crisis?
What they're doing is they used to market to children, but now they're marketing to the children who have grown up. So, like, I guess.
I
their
thought
parents.
I thought they're marketing towards people full of depression.
Really?
Yeah, basically.
Well, not only that, but it seems like, at least in my point of view, they seem to be targeting only one specific demographic. And
I didn't notice that, but I just noticed the colors changed.
Think about their slogan. All right. Even the slogan is misspelled.
We love to
I'll put
see
it that
you
way.
smile.
No, I'm loving it. Is misspelled.
Oh, that one.
Yes. That's specifically focused towards a certain audience. Call 1-800-mascots. Remember when the signs got to billions sold? Yeah, they don't have that anymore, do they?
No.
It's probably obviously maybe the trillions by now. LDG Free the Net says Lost in Space. And Edge of Time says Family Video. Heck, I still remember Blockbuster. Oh, yeah, and I remember the late fees. I'm glad they're out of business. LDG says nice overlay. Well, thank you, sir. Like I said, I'm still tweaking it. I don't know if you're here to hear that. I don't know if you were here to hear that, but this may be just temporary. And Geek Flag with Nate Knows 1973 says, hello, good people. And likewise, sir, or ma'am, depending on who you are, good to see you. I'm guessing you're a man since it says Nate. But glad you could join us. Edge of Time says, fun fact, drywall was invented in 1916, but no one seemed to notice until 1984. Yeah, that's why it's easy now to punch a hole through a wall. Go ahead, Gorilla, sorry.
I was just going to say, hey, the Geeks Flag.
All right, thank you.
Well, and I also wanted to say, if my slides are too big and you can't see the subtitles, I can make them smaller to fit with the overlay. So it could work both ways here.
Well, what I can do once we put to explain to everybody is I just finished this overlay right before the stream, so I'm having to tweak and move things around so that it doesn't block the video subtitles. If it doesn't, yes.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I'll finish this up quick. So once we pull up the video and the subtitles, if everything looks fine, great, we'll leave it like it is. But if any of my little overlay is blocking the subtitles where we are not able to read them, what I think I'll do for tonight is I can remove the overlay and we'll do the stream like usual, but now I'll know where to tweak it. So after the stream, I'll go and tweak it and lower and move whatever's out of the way. So I don't want you to have to change the videos when I'm saying, Jill, or the slide size. I can just remove the overlay for now and fix it. Make it easier. Geek Flag says, my oldest son turned 20 last month. Well, all right. Well, congratulations. He's not quite drinking age yet, but yeah, you got about another 12 months there before you can take him out.
Well, the drinking age started about 4 years ago.
I know, right? Well, I know, but I don't want to sound like I'm going to be a bad influence. Ola Greg says, hello, everyone. Hello, Ola Greg. Yeah. Good to see you there.
Hey, Ola Greg, Pop, I have no problem sounding like a bad influence.
I know. And I'm not completely innocent. I have to admit, I did partake before I was turned 21. LDG at Free the Net says, YouTube made me send them a copy of my driver's license today. Can you believe that? Yeah, did you guys hear that?
No, I didn't know about that. Wow.
Yeah, when LDG hit 11,000 subs, they put a halt on new subscriptions and made him send driver's license and all this garbage to confirm who he was. It was because he gained like what 11,000 subs in like a week or two. So I guess that it kind of threw the algorithm off and set off a bunch of red flags.
Yeah, well, I'm sure if we noticed it, which I did, I was amazed at how his numbers were jumping every day, pretty much. And I'm sure if we noticed it, I'm sure the YouTube algorithm probably picked it up pretty fast too, I would guess.
Exactly. But they may be suspicious, but he didn't do anything wrong or illegitimate. Everything he did was quite on the up and up, as they say, fair and square. So he deserves all the credit that he gets.
Yeah, I'm amazed his numbers have gone up so high. Wow.
Yeah, he knows exactly what to do. Ole Greg says, "Wow, cool, good job on your subs." Yes, definitely, overwhelming, mind blowing. He's actually got people out there that are jealous. Too bad, huh? The way I look at it is I don't get jealous. I am very proud of him and I'm happy for him and I share in his happiness. I don't get jealous. He deserves everything he gets. LDG Free the Net says, thank you, Ole Greg. And Ole Greg says, papers, please, LDG. Oh, you're right. They can stop and want to see your papers.
We want to see your papers.
Oh, you did better than I was going to do it. You did it way better than I was going to do it. Almost
Your
too
papers,
good.
LDJ.
Almost too good. That's it. I have some questions now for you.
Ole Greg says, paneling was leftover decor from the 70s, and the new decor of the 80s was more colorful, as I remember it. Well, in the 70s, from what I remember, and 80s, early 80s, we had paneling to cover the holes in the walls and shag carpet. Fortunately, both of those are no longer existing. Ole Greg says, warning, warning, arms waving wildly. Absolutely. Danger, danger. Geek Flag says, McDonald's is too damn expensive. A freaking hash brown is now $3. Yes.
Outrageous.
Burger, fry, and a soda is like $20 now. I mean, I think it's practically equal now to go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
Because it's totally ridiculous.
Yeah, really.
It might be time to have a fiery but mostly peaceful protest.
Oh, no.
Or you could try. You guys heard in California that Pizza Hut fired all their drivers because they can't afford the new wage.
Really?
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Right.
That's
So if you're in California and you want, if you're in California, you want Pizza Hut, you've got to order DoorDash or Uber Eats or one of those things and pay for it.
So that raising the minimum wage really helped those employees out a lot, eh?
They don't seem to get it. That's just it. They don't get it. They don't get that every time they make another $1 an hour, that the prices go up $4 or $5 an hour or whatever. They trip.
Yeah.
They just don't get it.
Yeah, truth is stranger than fiction sometimes, as they say, right?
Yep. Ole Greg says agreed. Yes. So much.
Here I go again. I wanted to see if I could do the Lost in Space phrase that robot in the Superman-like outfit says, so I could entertain Jill real quick. Is it all right if I say that?
Yes, you know who Mr. IDAC is.
Yeah, and Jill, just a little preview. Crush, kill, destroy.
I'll never forget that
Thank
episode.
you. Yeah. Well, I was also going to comment on the Superman like robot, but I figured, man, I don't want any spoilers.
I'll never forget.
He's coming up. Don't worry.
All right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'll never forget the day after that episode aired in my town. Every kid on the playground was going, crush, kill, destroy. I mean, it was just crazy. It was unbelievable.
It's interesting. We were in the same space-time dimension there, PvP, because that's exactly what happened on my playground.
Oh, really? Yeah, it was.
Crush, kill, destroy.
It was phenomenal. It was like a catchphrase for like a week. The kids were saying it. It was kind of cool, actually.
There was in the early days of the internet, there was a little MPEG that I sent to my best friend that had that sequence from Lost in Space with the crush, kill, destroy.
Oh, really?
And of course, warning, warning, danger, danger. But yeah, very early days of the internet. This is back in '95.
Yeah, probably a BBS or something like that.
I'm trying to remember where I found that because they had a whole bunch of little MPEGs and or AVI files, I guess back then, and then they had sound files with all the neat sound effects, and from Lost in Space and Star Trek too.
Very cool. I remember good old, and that's when we had our good old dial-up modems. Wasn't that fun?
Oh yeah, those were. I miss those days, don't you?
Well, yeah, I miss sitting there waiting for an hour for one JPEG to download.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my mom would get mad that I spent all of her megabytes downloading songs when she had to pay the bills.
Yes, especially when like America Online, unfortunately, they would charge you. You were allotted so much a month, and then once you surpassed it, I mean, it was like astronomical the cost.
Yeah,
You get outrageous bills. I'm so
Yeah.
glad they failed.
I avoided AOL. I had a local internet provider, and of course, the first thing I did was make sure I had unlimited local phone
Yes.
service. Step one.
Uh,
And yeah, there was some computer gurus that were co-workers where I was working at the university hospital, and I remember one guy was telling me, don't get AOL because they just give you their version of the internet. You have to go through this interface,
Oh man.
you know, that kind of thing. So it was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. That's just an
No.
extra step. So I had a local internet provider, and I got my computer,
Smart.
my modem, I had my account. So as soon as I had all that, I was flying on the internet from day one.
Exactly right. Ola Greg says, talking about the McDonald's comment,
Yeah.
agreed flag, high cost and low quality. LDG says more like 3 days. And LDG says, I'm innocent. Yes, you are, sir. I'll testify on your behalf.
Yeah. How did he do it?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Mm.
YouTube sucks, says Geek Flag. I'm not gonna argue that. Ola Greg says, when I was 18, that was the legal drinking age. If you're old enough to die for your country, you should be allowed to vote. And I agree. I do agree with that. I don't think you should die for your country, but you're right. If 18 is old enough to be in the military,
Yeah,
then absolutely.
I fell in the sweet spot there where when they changed the drinking age. Most of my classmates were born in 1960. I was born in 59, so I could still drink and they couldn't
Oh,
when they
okay.
switched the age. I'm like, ah.
Oh, but this all go over your house.
Yeah.
Right. Ola Greg says, vote and drink. Cheers. Oops. Lemon Pie. Hello, Lemon Pie. Good to see you. I hope you're doing
hey,
well.
Scurvy.
Hey, Lemon.
Lemon pie. How
hey,
are you?
Hey, Hail Pop says Lemon Pie. Lemon Pie says, hi, Gorilla, Jill, Stone Rocket, PvP.
Hey, Lemon.
Hi, Lemon.
And
Hi,
Geek
Lemon.
Flag says, yeah, it is good to see Lemon again. Geek Flag says, 70s was a lot of wallpaper. Shag carpeting, late 70s, middle 80s was wood panel. Yes, totally agreed. Ola Greg
Wood
says, stay away from grassy knolls, Lemon.
Uh-oh.
Ola Greg says, my precious megabytes.
Yeah,
Right.
eventually my mom gave up and bought the paid version of Net Zero, which we used instead of AOL.
Oh,
yeah, I do
Net
remember
Zero.
that.
My older sister used that, and I felt sorry for her because that service really bit. But it was a combination of that service and then their terrible phone lines over there.
Well, my stepdad was cheap.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm always denigrating things. I got to be more positive.
It worked. I mean, I was just a teenager, so
Yeah, but it worked.
my uses were very minimal.
Geek Flag with Nate Knows says, who else misses? You got mail. Oh no. That's after you
Yeah,
spend
all
a
I
half
needed.
hour. Right, after you spend a half hour downloading the front page, right? With all the advertisements and spam.
Yeah.
Edge of Time says, hi everyone. I forgot to switch to all messages. I wish that was the default. Oh yeah, that's right, everybody. Remember that over on the right where it says, I think, top messages and all messages. Make sure you select all. And we know Bird of Prey definitely remembers AOL. He still uses it for his email.
Oh my.
Wow.
He's the only one I know who still has at AOL.com, but I give him credit, you know.
Wait, they're still around?
Yes, they are. At least their mail service is still around. They're owned by
They're still
Yahoo.
here.
Yeah, I think they're owned by Yahoo. But then they bought out, so I don't know who owns them now.
I wonder if
Lemon
they
Pie,
still have AIM messaging system.
Wait, what's AIM?
It was a messenger, AOL messaging. Like,
AOL Instant
it's
Messenger, right?
Just chat.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
little chat bot thing.
Yeah, I grew up with MSN.
Yes.
Messenger.
Right back.
Yes, that came along later. I remember ICQ, and that was even before the AOL
Yeah.
Instant Messenger.
Boy,
All right.
nostalgia, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Lemon Pie says, Edge of Time. Ola Greg says, good point, Edge. All right, good. We're caught up with the chats.
All right.
And
So
then,
One thing I wanted to mention, there's no poll in the chat.
thank you. That's thank you for being late. Give me a moment, everybody, and I'll get that started. Thank you for reminding me, by the way.
No problem.
And Jill stepped away for a moment. I'm going to. I usually read an assessment on this episode a little bit from the book before we get started. And I type with one hand, which doesn't help.
Yeah, I call this episode Brave John Robinson.
He definitely was able to shine in this episode, so I was glad. I was
Yeah.
happy for that.
He's totally awesome.
Yeah, it was nice.
Anytime he gets more screen time, it's always a blessing, right?
Yeah, it's nice to
Exactly.
see Guy Williams actually using his acting skills for an episode was
Yeah.
very refreshing, I must say, guys. Yeah.
And he chased away Dr. Smith.
Oh yeah, there's so many good parts in this episode. I can't wait till we get into it.
The robot was great. And sneaky Dr. Smith, or sneaky conniving Dr. Smith.
Oh yeah.
As usual, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if this happens to you guys, but when he starts getting greedy, I start thinking of Daffy Duck.
Really?
You're
Yeah,
right. There are a lot of similarities. You're right.
Well, in Chuck Jones' era with, Daffy Duck being greedy when he's paired with Bugs Bunny and some of those Looney Tunes,
Gosh, I haven't watched those in so long. I'll have
Yeah,
to take
he's
another
like,
look at that.
mine.
Okay.
And it
Gee,
always backfired.
wow.
It
I
always
haven't watched
backfired.
Daffy in a long time.
He's greedy.
So that's your moral for the day, kids. Don't be greedy.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get the book here, which I have already got the bookmarker in place. So tonight we are covering the classic episode, The Deadly Games of Gamma 6. And this episode originally aired Wednesday, November 2nd, 1966. And the description of this episode is as follows. Smith offers to help space gladiators who travel through space. They agree to take him to Earth, of course, if he wins a fight. But if he loses, he and Earth will be destroyed. All right. And I'm going to read a little bit, and I'll make this quick. I know we're running a little late. We're already a half hour into the stream. This is from Irwin Allen's Lost in Space, the authorized biography of a classic sci-fi series, Volume 2, by Mark Cushman. And I'm sure we've already given away a lot of spoilers if you've been listening to us. If you have not seen this episode, I recommend you do try to watch it on your own. It is available online. If you don't have it, like a hard physical copy, and you don't have a streaming service, contact us and we can send you a link where you can watch it online for free. Because I don't want to spoil it and I want you to enjoy it. There's obviously we have to skip through slides, so there's a lot of the plot, narrative, and dialogue that we have to skip over. The assessment: The Deadly Games of Gamma 6 is another first-rate season 2 episode. It is not the most horrific. There are no monsters, no use made of the eerie score from The Day the Earth Stood Still, which benefited so many episodes of Lost in Space. It is not the most adventurous, with the planet crumbling and then blowing apart as the Jupiter 2 attempts to lift off, or being forced down into a world run by a giant cyber brain and populated by automatons. Nor is it even the most humorous, but it is a well-constructed story and one that utilizes all the cast members well, especially John Robinson. It presents an interestingly in-depth portrayal of an alien expertly brought to life by guest player Mike Kellen, and it brings forward a poignant theme as revealed in the following exchange of dialogue between Will and his father. After John Robinson examines the dart rifle that Mr. Michael gave to his son, one which tests an individual's courage by forcing him to get within 3 feet of his adversary before firing. I could read this whole paragraph here, But we will cover that when we get to that part of the episode. But basically, he's talking about a dialogue, and I will mention that when we get to it.
Yeah, the father and son stuff is always great between Billy Mooney and Guy Williams.
And I miss that in modern day television and movies.
Yeah, and I just loved one of the first Lost in Space websites I encountered. They had a survey, and I talked about how I liked Will Robinson because he respected his father, and
Right.
he says sir,
Yeah,
and it's like he's very very respectful to adults in general, but I just love all the stuff between him and his father.
right.
Yeah.
These days, they're always broken families, divorce,
Yeah.
or dysfunctional.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
basically it's reflecting the people that are producing the content.
Exactly.
Because they come from broken, homes, and there's actually some showrunners even back in the 70s that were divorced, and they would go, well, there's no mother in this series because I want revenge against my ex-wife.
Right.
So it's a single father, and that kind of thing. I'm like, no, how about we go back to, Joe Connolly and Bob Mosher, who produced Leave It to Beaver, where you are aspirational in your, objectives there, and showing it's idealized, but it's something that you can aspire to, with the parents
Yes.
and the children and the relationships, and just a strong, nuclear family.
Well, that's the difference with TV back then in the 50s and 60s, particularly. I mean, it was positive. It was mostly really positive, uplifting, inspiring, heartwarming, entertainment, right? And now it's like the exact opposite. Now it's all nihilism, and it's the horror show now.
It's the operative word. PvP is nihilism. It's depressing. That's why we're all here. We're discussing a classic show.
Yes.
We love hanging out. I know we need more chats, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Gorilla's trying to say something.
Yeah, because we got a couple new people too here.
Cool.
Greg says LL made good coasters.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Oh man. Oh yeah.
And Scooby says I think Verizon owns AOL. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That was the last I heard. That's right. Verizon bought Yahoo, who bought AOL. Right. That's it.
Yeah. Geek's Flag here says I got a bit lost in space trivia. Did you know that Jonathan Harris kept the guest star status for all 3 seasons so he could get paid more money?
Absolutely. Well, he didn't do that to get more money. What happened was it was special guest star because when they filmed the original pilot, he was not in it. Okay. The network said go back and reshoot, add Dr. Smith and the robot, and you got yourself a series in order for a green light. But they had already cut the subtitles, and they didn't want to have to go and redo all the titles of the show all over again. They would have to went back and re-edited all of them and added him in order with everybody else. But it was easier just to add his name at the end, and that's what originally sparked it. But yes, all 3 seasons. You're right about that.
Yeah, he was told about you're going to get billing, but you're going to be last, and he was like, "What?" And so, I can't remember the rest of the story, Pop, but I think
he said that
wasn't it his agent that suggested it, or one of his?
No, it was him. It was him. He said him. He said he knew that if he didn't do something to change the character, that he'd be killed off within the first 5 episodes.
Right.
So that's why he asked for the special guest star, and that's why he started altering the character of Dr. Smith.
Yeah, and I remember a little anecdote that Jonathan Harris said that, he was saying exactly what you were saying, that he knew he'd be gone if he didn't do something, and so he started doing his we'll call them Harrisisms. It's doing his little thing to add a little more humor, a little more to the scripts and his part, and then Irwin Allen stopped by his dressing room and went, "I know what you're doing. Keep doing it.
Do more.
Do more."
Hey, and welcome the man of many words there, Cody Guy.
Hey, Cody Guy. Good to see you.
Hey, Cody.
Wow, what a great turnout. Yeah, good to see you all.
Yeah.
Good
It gets-
evening, Cody
yes,
Guy.
yeah. The Netflix Lost in Space. The Robinsons was a dysfunctional blended family.
Yeah.
With no explanation.
No explanation.
Hi.
It's just there because we want to be diverse.
Right. And diverse actually means excluding certain races. That's what it means.
Exactly.
All right, so should we get started?
Well, they didn't quite exclude any races in the new Lost in
Yeah.
Space. It wasn't great or
Oh, no,
anything.
not
but-
Lost in Space, but I just meant Hollywood in general now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Because there
I
were.
should have
Well,
clarified that.
Well, in the new Lost in Space, were there any Norwegians? I don't think so. I'm
No,
Norwegian.
yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah, I'm sure just by sheer magnitude of how many characters you can actually have. But they
Yes.
weren't obviously
Yeah.
excluding what Pop is talking about.
Yeah, I know. I'm being silly.
All right, so let's get this episode going here. Well,
Get
I'm
the
still
show
with
on the
us.
road, as they say. Yes.
Yeah.
I'd love
Well,
to
I'm
do
still
that.
with you guys.
Okay, so now we have the cliffhanger from last week. They're building a relay station, or shall I say, Dr. Smith is building a relay station.
And
And of
he
course
should be
he's a-
really good at this. He
You
should.
would think, right? Supposedly, since he knows how to work on the robot, maybe it's just being a part of laziness, right? Or overconfident.
Now, the one thing I noticed was the way those things are really covering stuff here. But the one thing I noticed was the way Dr. Smith was handling those tools. I did that one time where I just threw the tool. I was done with the tool, so I just kind of threw it off to the side there, like Dr. Smith was. I think I still have that welt from when I did that.
Uh-oh.
Dad was not happy about that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded like he threw a tool and it hit the chariot, and I was like, no.
Well, it did hit the chariot, but you can tell it hit like the wood floor of the sound stage they're on.
Well, it might have been one of the paper mache rocks.
Yeah.
Because they actually have sand on the floor, that would absorb the
Right. And
hit
I know
something solid.
I thought one of them sounded like maybe it hit something metallic. Like I thought maybe it landed
Yeah.
on another tool, or
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to tell. It could have been a sound effect for all we know.
Well,
Yeah.
it just sounded like they forgot to dub it out when it hit like the wooden floor.
Oh, it's very possible.
Now, what creature is this? I cannot possibly fathom. What kind of
Well, I
creature
know
this is.
what strange alien.
Yeah.
It just looks like a regular guy.
Right, he's a veritable giant, according to Dr. Smith, right? Even though it looks
Yeah.
like Guy Williams is actually taller than him, but oh well.
Yeah,
Alright.
he's just 6'4", I think, isn't he? It's like,
All right.
Do you remember PvP, how tall Guy Williams is? Was?
Oh, I'd have to look it up. I think he's
Like
6'3",
6'3".
6'2", or something like that. Yeah, something around
Yeah.
there, Gorilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, now I want my equal representation. If I have to see this guy's hairy chest, I want one of the women there in the same outfit.
There you go. Right?
oh dear,
Not in the family hour, Gorilla. That's not gonna
not on
happen.
CBS in 1966.
Well, so the women get the eye candy, but guys don't.
Yeah,
I
pretty
know,
much.
right?
Depends on your definition of eye candy, girl. I'm
Yeah.
not that excited over here.
Well, yeah, right, and you never know, Gorilla. Maybe you'll get some man boobs.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
so the women get all the fun here with it. And welcome, Sci-Fi Sit Down.
Hello, Sci-Fi Sit Dan. And by the way, everybody, I'm going to remove the overlay because it's blocking part of the subtitles. This is what I was talking about. If it blocks the subtitles, I'm going to remove it for the stream, and then I will tweak it and work on it because I got a screenshot. I took a snapshot of exactly what this looks like with the slides. So I'm going to remove the overlay after the stream later on tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to play with this overlay a little bit, adjust it, and so it'll look slightly better next week, and it won't block the subtitles, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to remove it for now. Like I said, we don't want to block the subtitles. That wouldn't help anybody at all. There we go.
Yeah. Then
Trial and error.
Geek here agrees me as 6'3".
Oh, good call then, Gorilla.
All right, so we have this gentleman here come out without saying a word. Apparently, he wasn't paid to say any lines. So he just comes out and stands that way, and they're questioning on if he's dangerous or not. And Professor Robinson says, well, he doesn't seem to be hostile or something along those lines. I'll offer my hand, as it says here. He's assuming he says that's the universal thing to do. It may be on Earth, but I don't know about on an alien planet. Who knows?
Yeah, that was a
commendable.
bit silly, but of course they wanted to get some wrestling moves going here.
Yeah.
Right, because
Yeah.
the best thing, if I know, if I was on an alien planet and I saw an alien, I think the best thing to do is just hold your hands out with the palms up, maybe, to show you have nothing in your hand. But
Well,
like you said, this is to get the fight started.
the alien stance itself with his, arms crossed, over each other, to me, seemed hostile, fairly
It
hostile.
does.
So,
Confrontational, right?
yeah.
So here he is with Professor. This is the second one, right?
Yeah,
second one.
Yes.
Dad,
Yes.
look
So-
out!
Professor Robinson quickly dispatches of the first guy, and just as he finishes, and then we have another one approach and then pick him up off the ground. And then we hear somebody shouting orders for him to let him down. And here we go, the introduction of our alien of the week. And I mentioned his name earlier. The drama and poignancy of Deadly Games are elevated to a higher level through the refined portrayals from the cast. Guy Williams and Mike Kellen, who you're looking at right now, in particular at top-notch direction by Nathan Jurin. Oh, that's what I forgot. Let me try this.
While
real quick.
you talk about Mike Kellen, I'm going to step away real quick to help my daughter.
Go for it. Written by, this episode is, because I'm got ahead of myself. This episode was written by Barney Slater. The story editor, once again, is Anthony Wilson, and is directed by Nathan Jurin. Guy Williams and Mike Kellen in particular, and with top-notch direction by Nathan Jurin. Placement of characters, picture composition and framing, the use of a crane shot to bring an unexpected reveal, and camera positioning to bring freshness to the entrance and exit of characters throughout the story are all elements that are not provided for in the teleplay. So they're saying that a lot of this is actually a change. Usually the teleplay is not as good as what they read on paper, but what they're saying here is the way Nathan Jurin directed it, it's actually much better than it would have been, which is great. When the final episode is weighed against the script, Jurin's directorial contributions are striking. The handling for the actors is further proof of the involvement of a gifted director. Note Jonathan Harrison's performance. This is the Dr. Smith of the first 16 episodes of season 1. There is a comedic edge to the greed and the cowardice, but other than the training session and the fight in the ring, Smith has played fairly straight. Certainly more believable than in many episodes from this period or beyond. While Deadly Games leans towards a more serious Lost in Space, it is not without small moments of inspired comedy. One in particular is the robot giving Dr. Smith a massage. Lastly, the script expresses a theme, the true meaning of bravery and how it sometimes takes more courage to walk away from a fight than to jump into one. With a strong theme in place, we are given a satisfying conclusion to the story, something not all episodes of Lost in Space contained. Which I agree. We've had many endings of episodes where we're left scratching our heads like, what? Especially with the holes in the plots, right? All right. So,
Yeah, I always liked Nathan Jurin as a director. Like, I remember him, like 20 Million Miles to Earth or whatever, and Seven Voyages of Sinbad, and like those are such great movies. And he really was a great director.
yeah, I completely agree. And it shows. That's always a blessing because it'll take a middling script and actually elevate it, make a better episode than what you would have expected.
Well, apparently there was an interview with him in the late 70s, and he said he wasn't thrilled with the girly costume he was required to wear. Was that which girly costume? I don't know.
You're talking about the actor here we're looking at, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he means the leotards.
Yeah, James Coburn gave him a little bit of guff. It's related in that book, Pop.
Which I just haven't gotten to that part yet.
Okay, yeah, Mark Cushman's book is Coburn saw he had to Is it Mark Kellen? You said the actor
Yes.
Mark Kellen. He had to walk from one end of the lot once he was in costume to the other to go to the. He had a meeting in the with Irwin Allen because Irwin Allen wanted to see him in costume, and so he had to walk from one side of the lot to the other, and he was kind of embarrassed. He's like, "Well, I'm in my getup, and I got to go all this way." And James Coburn came racing in on his car and stopped, pulled up, and said, "Hey, you working, baby?"
And that's funny for the young people out there. James Coburn was a tough. He was a great actor, but he's always playing a tough guy. He actually was a tough guy in real life and a heavy drinker. So that's actually very funny.
All right. Hey, but this main guy that's in here, I think it's the main guy. Can anybody tell me which Star Trek episode he was in?
Yeah, I can
Go for it.
tell you. He was an Organian in the Star Trek episode Errand of Mercy. So that was the first time we got to see the Klingons. But he was one of the godlike aliens who was saying, "You guys can't fight anymore."
No, that's not Mark Kellen. You're talking about the fearless leader guy.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
Fearless-
but that's who Gorilla's talking about, and he's talking about Peter. He's talking about Peter Bracco, who plays the alien leader, who Maiko talks to.
I thought he looked familiar. Thanks.
Yeah,
for
he's
that.
the one. Isn't he the one that? No, wait a minute. No, it was a different actor that seemed to be able to see beyond. Like he could see the ships up in orbiting the planet. That was a different actor, but yeah.
Here he is.
Okay.
There he is. Yeah, he's one of the
Here's your
Organians. He also was in Outer Limits and The Invaders. Yeah, he did. He got around in all the sci-fi shows.
Yeah. Should we catch up on chat real quick?
Yes, that's a good idea. Thank you, Gorilla.
All right. So, Edge Time says this guy, hair on the chest, yes. Hair on the arms, no way, man. And we got Taylor Swift, greater than Disney, Star Wars, and MCU waving. Jill.
Oh, Matt G says Jill.
I'll never get tired of that. Oh, PvP doesn't agree. Oh dear.
No. I think it's hilarious. I always love hearing Jill go. Jill.
That's become a tradition on this channel here.
It makes me laugh.
I was watching. This is a while ago. I was watching Invaders from the Fifth Dimension. You guys were calling Matt G a Jill stalker.
Jill, go back to that last one there. Go back to the last. No, 2 screens back. Or no, they had Mike Kellen there as on there. Yeah, as one of the credits. You had Mike Kellen as one of the credits.
Yes.
That Bill Mumy played an alien in Deep Space Nine.
That's what you're talking about.
Well, no, I was talking about the air diversity thing. I was thinking I'll mess with you a little bit, but I decided not to. But that Mike Kellen, Bill Mumy played an alien in Deep Space Nine named Kellen in honor of Mike Kellen.
Cool.
Yeah, that's right. That was in the episode of Deep Space Nine where Nog loses his leg.
Ouch. Hey, I just want to mention
did he end up finding it? I don't remember.
Well, I guess he got a prosthetic or something.
Yeah.
I just want to quickly mention Professor Robinson here with blood, on his mouth. Like, that's pretty rare for Lost in Space to show blood.
Yeah, it's like it's the family hour. What are they doing?
Yeah, I was actually kind of shocked almost when I saw this scene. It's like, wow,
Wasn't shocked. I appreciated it though.
Oh, it was great, but
Yeah.
I mean, family hour. I didn't expect it. Let's put it that way.
I'm exaggerating things here. I'm just
all right. And Geek here says, "Well, what were they doing with that alien culture holding their palms out? Could be insulting their mother."
Yeah, you never know.
I can't remember which rule of acquisition it is, but you never insult the Ferengi's mother. And Hey, the greater and haste. All right, we're all caught up.
Thank you, Gorilla.
This is one of Barney Slater's better scripts in a while, I think, too. It's actually such a well-written episode overall.
I think so as well. I totally
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, I'm sure Guy Williams sure appreciate this one.
Yeah, I hope so.
And it's like, Barney, make some more for me. Well, yeah, make scripts just for me.
So here's where we have Dr. Smith is obviously wanting to make a deal. He told the rest of them to go ahead and get into the chariot and head back towards Jupiter 2. And of course, he's got a deal he wants to make with Michael. And here's where he's offering that maybe he can convince Professor Robinson into joining the fights. Because Professor Robinson straight up turned it down. But of course, all Dr. Smith cares about is a trip home and getting half of whatever the payment is, obviously. So he wants to go home very, very extremely rich.
Yeah, I thought, okay, so Professor Robinson's going to take all the punches and do all the hard work, and Smith
Yep.
wants 50%. It's like, yeah, that's Smith, all right.
Yep.
Hey, that's still not nearly as bad as some of these agents do. I've heard agents take it up to 70%.
Well, if they can find a sucker, sure.
Yeah,
But if you
hell,
remember, wasn't it, what was it, 60% that he wanted from Will when Will was supposed to be that, with that circus? Remember?
The space circus. Yeah.
Right. Dr. Smith offered to be his agent, but I think it was 60-40 or something like that. So you never know, right?
Yeah.
So here we are back at I think it's funny they call it a campsite. Instead of saying Jupiter 2 or home, and they're not going to call it the house, but I notice they always refer to it as a campsite. And here's where
We have a sighting of Judy.
right, a sighting in the wild, right?
Judy.
Yeah, poor Judy.
That's the only knock I can give this episode. Not enough Judy.
Once again, does she even get a line in this?
Yeah.
Like,
She gets a couple,
Yeah.
I think.
hey, wait, Judy's still
Yeah,
in
and
the show?
then Will says that sounds cowardly.
Wait,
Yeah.
Judy's still in the show?
Yes, she is.
Yes,
You'd hardly
she is.
notice a lot of the time, but yes.
Looking quite fetching there.
Oh,
But,
definitely.
He only shows up a few more times in the bloop.
Oh my goodness, the bloop.
We haven't seen the bloop in a while.
Nope. I think maybe the bloop is hiding out in Penny's quarters.
Could be.
Smart ape.
So here's where Dr. Smith is trying to convince John Robinson into joining the fights, and John Robinson will have nothing of it. Because obviously he's trying to convince. We all know, as fans, we know that Guy Williams can kick butt. But here he reminds them, first and foremost, he is a scientist.
Yeah.
So he is not there to fight. Even
He
though
won't
he
be
knows.
humiliated and pressured into doing something he doesn't want to do. He doesn't find value in it.
Yeah,
Right.
you guys, my dad can beat up all your dads. No.
Right. And just by saying, I dare you, Dad, to do it. And then
Yeah, I
do
dare
it.
you. Yeah, have any of you been triple dog dared in your childhood?
Nope.
I have.
Oh, really? Oh, gosh.
Yeah. The
We've been
triple
dared,
dog
but-
dare. There is no backing down from the triple
Hey.
dog dare.
Hey, did you stick your tongue to a flagpole?
No, no, it wasn't anything like that stupid.
We did dares, but I never heard that term until the Christmas Story movie.
Yeah, it was actually in our neighborhood. We would do. I heard
Huh.
that a lot. It was just silly things, you know.
Yeah, I didn't hear it till the Christmas movie.
Like
as
climb
well.
climb up into that tree or jump off of that bar on the jungle gym or
Jeez.
that kind of thing. You know, it's just stupid stuff.
Right. So John Robinson says he will not fight. So, but they have not told Mr. Michael, the alien, that yet. Dr. Smith promised Michael on the left here that he would definitely provide John Robinson to do the battles. But then John Robinson turns it down. But Michael doesn't know this yet. So we get our, of course, reuse of our props, the freezing chambers from Jupiter 2. And his superior, whoever the alien is, the guy we were talking about from Star Trek, appears, and he tells that guy that I've got an Earthling lined up, and they're very excited because they've never had an Earthling before. But like I said, Michael does not know yet that John Robinson is going to be turning down the fights.
So I
That's
was
what the
wondering
alien's
if
for.
this is like a telephone system, and
Yeah.
the alien leader is just a hologram.
Yeah, think of it as
Oh.
the holographic communicators on the later seasons of DS9.
Well, I do want to. I have notes in the book about this particular scene.
Well, that's great because this is the one part of the episode that has a bit of science fiction in it in terms of a device that they use to communicate. I like it.
That is true. A cost reflected here, but all necessary for the story. None are unreasonably written in, and I can find no possible deletions. However, I feel that with the exception of Maiko and Gromack, none of the aliens would work more than one day. Although the script only calls for several alien athletes, I have indicated. Oh, this is a noting from Barty Slater. Although the script only calls for several alien athletes, I have indicated 4, but it is possible that for story point, there should be at least 6, as these aliens are supposed to be representatives of numerous planets in an intergalactic contest. This also threw up a red flag concerning wardrobe and makeup regarding photo effects. This scene here. They're telling him to keep it not exorbitant. According to the original script, he wanted 6 materializations. Mako's alien summoner, who's the guy he's talking to, for concept, I feel that the light, this is once again a quote by the guy who wrote the screenplay. I feel that the light under which Maiko stands should be a practical on the set. However, for more dramatic effect, the aliens should materialize and dematerialize with an animated beam that lasts only long enough to cover the appearances and disappearances. If you agree, then we should allow for 4 beam animations. But, of course, a cheaper way was to be found. The alien leader would pop in and out, utilizing a side-down camera, thusly eliminating the need for animation. So, yeah, that was a cost-saving measure, obviously.
So they didn't do any kind of effect to show the beaming in and out. You just pop into existence with the sound effect and the light.
Like Bewitched. But so that's as a reminder, everybody. Star Trek had to pay for every transport, every phaser effect, all that added to the budget.
I just have a question. Early on here, when he's thinking that Professor Robinson might very well accept the challenge to fight in the ring. It's almost at this point like he's thinking Professor Robinson will be an excellent fighter and actually win the match. It seems early on, right?
Yes.
But then when we get Smith, I don't want to give spoilers, but you know what happens when the professor refuses and then Smith accepts the challenge, and it's like the story changes.
Well, because
the motivation, right, changes.
Well, because he can obviously tell that Smith is not up to the task like Professor Robinson is.
Yeah. I don't want to give spoilers, but I'll mention it later on once we get there.
Okay. Now, when they were talking about the budget, it said a cost item here. This is where they're actually itemizing what they need money for, what's allowed and what wasn't allowed. So they asked for the alien summoner. They did get that. That's the old guy in the freeze tube. A fly trap flower. That was not allowed. That was written out because they didn't have the budget. 1 crushable rock, hand-sized. We got 2 of those. 1 large breakaway rock. We did get 1 of those. Alien solarized TV cameras. And it said with a question mark 2. I think we got 1 of those, if I remember right.
Yeah, and the second rock did not have to be breakable.
Oh, that's true. Dr. Smith proved that, right? 2 alien fighting staffs. I don't remember seeing those. And also, lastly, the Robinson's weather station. There. Okay, so here we are. I don't want to slow us down anymore. So here's where we have where he is still trying to convince Professor Robinson to join the fights. And once again, Professor Robinson will have no part of it.
Well, and also he's suspicious of Dr. Smith, who wants to help. Dr. Smith wanting to help is something like a cat offering to be friends with the canary.
Right, he does mention that, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, Sylvester and Tweety, they were friends, right? Oh, wait a minute.
But Dr. Smith, of course, I thought it was interesting too that I mean, Professor Robinson told him several times to stop, 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 but Dr. Smith really pushed it.
Yeah,
And
and
this is
then
what you
some
guys.
character lore additions for John because we never knew before that he was offered to play professional football.
That is true. Which that explains. Well, it doesn't explain it, but it makes sense because he's got the build for it. But he decided to pursue more intellectual things, which is good for him, right? And besides, I don't know if I find that very hard to believe. A football player with an intellect like that, I don't know if that's even physically possible. No offense to anybody out there, but that's just my opinion.
Well, one of my high school classmates played football, and he was an honor student too.
Yeah,
So
yeah. The
it is possible.
valedictorian,
Well,
the
no,
valedictorian of my
that's
high school played football too.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm saying that. Well, yeah, getting grades is common. Yeah, they get that all the time. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if they really were smart. When you're an athlete, and especially if you're a successful one, they pass you through with flying colors and all the high
Oh, I
grades
see
you
what you're getting
need.
at. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, being smart is another thing.
But I know even though John Robinson didn't go out for football when he was at university, he did take sword fencing. No. Zorro. Okay.
Oh
Sorry.
no. Yeah, sorry. I'm sending an email to myself because I'm getting the pictures ready. But no, you're right. Yes, he did take actual fencing. I'm surprised PvP didn't speak up for that one.
Maybe PvP's asleep. Hello, PvP.
He might have stepped away from
No.
the
Oh, he
mic for a
stepped away.
moment.
PvP
Well,
was still.
this is the part of the episode where Will's like, "Well, Dad, maybe you should fight."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can beat up
Well,
everybody, Dad.
well, and I like this because you could tell that Professor Robinson handles it exactly the correct way. He's not going to go and fight every time somebody challenges him. And what he tells Will is the right thing.
Yeah.
But that's not always the wisest thing to do. I think it's excellent that they do this, and he does not hop right into it. I'm glad
Yeah.
he's hesitant.
Yeah, it's great stuff. I love all these scenes with Will and John.
And the music, it's so sweet.
Yep.
It's really classic, kind of
It's
like
it's it's the music,
dramatic.
father-son music. They
I
use it
got
a
a
lot.
I got a question. Was this supposed to be some kind of anti-bullying, anti-violence message?
No, I don't know. I don't think they're trying to put any message across. I think what they were doing was just showing that he was an intelligent man, and he doesn't fight until he absolutely has to. That's why they saved it for the end of the episode.
Yeah, I think he
Exactly.
was. Oh, go ahead, Jill.
My battles are fought in a laboratory, not a prize ring.
I think he's
Good
teaching
quote.
Will. He's kind of teaching Will to sort of pick his battles, so to speak, and not be bullied into making bad decisions, like not solving things with violence, but trying to use your brain instead to
Yeah,
solve
you don't have
problems.
to fight just because someone wants you to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. And
Yeah, it's like
fighting should always be the last resort.
yeah.
Yes.
hmm It's like Will, don't be like Major Don West, who's a hothead.
Which
Oh,
is
man.
why I was surprised he didn't end up doing anything in this episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is yeah, that is a problem because you'd think Don would be right in there to yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the few weak points for me was that Don didn't really have much to do in the episode, and I kept thinking he might actually step into the ring, but it's like nope.
Yeah, I mean there could have been I don't know. They just didn't have time, but there could have been a nice scene between John and Don where Don's kind of has to be, the proverbial hothead that John has to calm him down.
That would have been a
Yeah.
good scene, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's time. They just didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
Would have been a good thing. I know Don would have backed up John's decisions, but you're right. A scene about it would have been cool.
Sorry, I had to step away for a second. I had to tend to the dogs.
No, you're totally fine. Let's catch up on chat real quick.
Thank you. You sound tired, Gorilla. I apologize.
Geek here says, I have. All right, Geek says, I was double dog dared when I was 15 to car surf, and my dumbass did it, and I didn't get hurt. But my friend Mike was not so lucky. He ended up getting a face full of grass. Oh, yeah. I remember car surfing there, but my friends decided to slam on the brakes.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's not nice.
All right, we're all caught up.
Yeah, I was one of those teenagers that liked to go out with his friends, and a friend of mine, Mark, he had a driver's permit, but he was able to get the car because he wasn't really well supervised. And so me and three others, we'd be in Mark's car. We were in high school, and we'd go down to the local park where it was kind of a lover's lane kind of thing off of a gravel road, and we would do donuts and spray gravel on the loving couples there on their blankets.
Oh, jeez.
We called it bushwhacking. I was a troubled teen for a while there.
All right, so now we have where obviously Professor Robinson refuses to do the fights. So now Dr. Smith has not made the negotiation to do it yet, has he? Or did I miss that part?
No, I don't think he's got there yet.
Right, so right now him and Will are just basically looking around the area and looking at the. It's funny how they get all these visitors, and these visitors have such simple. Well, I'll put it this way: there's no spaceship, and they're camping outside, and even Maiko is in a small pup tent.
Yeah,
and I think that was hilarious. I'm thinking, okay,
that was a bit weird. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the budget screaming right there.
Right, that's the budget, right? And then remember now the gladiator games that they're supposed to that they're promoting are viewed by millions of people from all over the galaxy. So yeah, talk about a small budget for such high ratings, right?
Yeah, really, eh? I think they spent a lot of the budget on this gadget here, the Wheel of Life, I think it was called, if I remember.
Yeah, the Wheel of Life, which is kind of ironic because it's kind of more like
it's
the
Wheel of Death.
Wheel of Death, yeah, that's what I thought too.
Hey,
I'm surprised
I'm surprised they didn't call it like some kind of roulette. They're kind of like Russian roulette.
Well, it basically was. Yeah,
cosmic roulette.
Right, Will says so too. He says it's like Russian roulette, so he does say the words.
Yeah, why didn't they? Yeah, they should have just called it cosmic roulette.
Yeah, I like that, Jill. Cosmic roulette. It has cosmic in it. That makes it sci-fi. Yeah.
I was a bit surprised though that this was actually in a family hour show with basically a death machine here. Like that was a little bit dark, you know.
Yeah, that's why I love this episode.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
Oh, I loved it, but it seemed out of place, right? Like for
I totally agree. You get to that scene, it's like, okay, this episode just got elevated way up there.
Got way dark, yeah.
Well, way dark, but way cool with John.
Oh yeah, it got that boosted the rating for sure. Yeah.
And
also,
go ahead.
I just want to mention, I think Miko he's one of the first really evil, scary villains we've had in a while now, right? On Lost in Space. Like,
well, yeah, when you have Dr. Smith saying, hey, you don't have to kill that guy. Are you really going to kill that guy? If Dr. Smith is questioning your morality, then that guy is kind of pretty evil.
Yeah.
Right, that's a pretty good indicator, isn't it?
When I think of the knife he had, like, that was a scary looking knife. Like, I'm thinking, wow, family hour again? Like, wow.
Yeah, it's like, how did that get by?
Yeah.
Maybe the further the episodes
proceeded. He tests this thing. It could have hit him.
Yeah, you're right about that. That's true.
I think he has it timed out.
It could have hit Dr. Smith.
I think he had it all timed out.
Well, you think it's rigged? You think he knows which one's which?
Well, I think he knew that it wasn't gonna go off on him there, because I don't want to spoil it. I'll point out my reason why at the end of the episode.
Okay, but that's where it hits the rock when they test fire it, and Dr. Smith is surprised. Yeah, I'm not sure if the laser beam actually has any effect. The hole's already in the rock. I mean, come on, who be fooling? But yeah, so now that's where Will said it's just like Russian roulette. And here's where Michael pulls out this gun here that's basically has a projectile on the end with the 3-foot string, and he tells Will that it's to test your bravery. And then even Will notices, but I guess you have to let whoever your opponent is get it within 3 feet. So that's why I'm guessing that's their logic for saying that it tests your courage. So you don't shoot something from a distance. And actually remind there used to be toy guns that were similar to that. They had like a little string on the projectile so you wouldn't lose it. And here's where Michael. It does. If you're a little kid, yeah, absolutely. And Michael was telling. This is where Dr. Smith finally tells Michael that look, Professor Robinson is refusing to do it. So Michael was telling him, but I need somebody. I absolutely need somebody. And here's where he tempts Smith with riches beyond his wild imagination. And of course, Smith mentions, can you also take me to Earth? And he says, yes, I can take you back to Earth and you will be a very rich man when you get, and that's, of course, Dr. Smith's replies, a big smile on his face. So Dr. Smith asks him if he could choose his opponent. And Michael tells him absolutely yes. So, of course, what he does is he selects and points at the smallest gentleman there.
Yeah.
Which his name is Geo.
Yeah. I'm going to do Admiral Akbar. It's a trap.
Hey, no, hey, just a sec.
It's a trap.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Excellent.
So Geo is played by Harry Monty, and it's not apparent, but he's in his early 60s.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he was one of the flying monkeys in The Wizard of Oz.
Was he really? Oh,
there he is.
Oh my.
Oh wow.
He was in amazing shape for a guy in his 60s. Holy moly. You know?
Well, the way they were tossing him around, I'm not surprised because he did seem like he was in good shape.
Was he like a wrestler or something? Like in real life?
I'm guessing actor / stuntman by the way he acted.
Oh,
Possibly.
That's probably it. Yes.
Well,
he's built.
Yeah, he was in the early in the first season. He was Billy Mooney's double. Stunt double.
Really? Wow.
Yep. According to Mark Cushman's book.
Yes, baby.
Right. According to the book, that's when Billy Mooney outgrew him.
Oh yeah.
That's when they got the woman who who's now and throughout the rest of the series his stunt double.
Yeah.
Which we covered that like a couple months ago.
Yeah, it was Sandra something or other. What Sandra?
Right. In fact, we covered it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No,
we covered it. Yeah, we covered it when we got to season 2 because that's when this guy was replaced.
Radio.
So Dr. Smith is very confident because he was able to pick the smallest opponent there. And he heads back to the Jupiter 2. And then, of course, we know that it's a trick because we find out now that this Geo, the little short guy, can actually disappear, which gives him the upper hand on his opponent.
Yep. Cue sinister laughing.
Yeah, I used to play World of Warcraft, and I used to play like a gnome who was a mage, and I could transport like that. And so it reminds me of that.
Well, this is where they got it from, Jill. They ripped this episode off.
Shame on
them.
Wait. I didn't think he actually transported. The way I interpreted it is he turns invisible.
Well, he does. He turns invisible. But the first time I saw him, I thought it was transporting.
Exactly. When you first watch it, we don't. Right. When we first watch it, we don't know which one he's doing. It's not until later on it's revealed. Yes. Because I thought the same thing too. I thought, now which one is it? I remember when I first saw the episode, and it's not until later on that they reveal which of those two options it is when he disappears. So Dr. Smith all gung ho, thinking for sure he's going to win the match against his opponent because he was basically told him that it's rigged, and that Mike is going to make sure that he wins. So now he's working out with his muscles of steel. Steel? Right, exactly.
Now this in this sequence here, not this specific part, but later, Dr. Smith tells Penny to fetch his iron pills. And it's like, how dare he?
Oh, that's right. Yes, the iron
He
pills.
says, fetch them. And it's like, what?
Well, and that means he has anemia.
No, I mean that the fact that he's. Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
you
it's
mean
like
the way that he's talking to Will and Penny
Yeah,
like they're slaves?
Well, he's the way he's talking to Penny. He says,
It-
fetch them. It's
it's
like,
like-
what?
Right.
Yeah,
She's
it's
some
like-
kind of dog or something. It's like,
that's
no.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, it was nice though that they actually gave Angela Cartwright a bit of screen time this episode. That was
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, it was nice, but that's why I say this episode needs more Judy.
Yeah,
By the way,
Judy. Yeah,
by the
Judy
way,
got ripped off.
you guys know in real
Yeah,
life,
yeah, right. Nobody bosses my sister around. That's my job.
heck no. And you guys know that Angela Cartwright was British and she had a British accent, right?
She was born in Britain. Yeah.
Yes, her.
I'd
other
forgotten
sister,
that.
Veronica. So yeah, this is a false accent, but it's not false accent like in Counselor Troy false accent. At least she's not irritating like Counselor Troy.
I don't mind Counselor Troy's accent for an addendum.
It just it sounds odd. I don't know. It
It's
sounds
supposed
like
to sound odd. It
Yeah,
is because
maybe it
she's
is.
supposed to be ethereal, and she's supposed to feel like she's on a different plane.
okay. Okay.
It
I appreciate
works.
you.
And,
Yeah, I appreciate
no,
you explaining that. I've always
but at
wondered.
least, well, because it kind of works that she's an empath, and so that's her empath voice. And then you get to Star Trek Picard, and she talks exactly like Marina Sirtis. And it's like, is she not a beta
really? So
anymore?
she drops the act altogether by the time she gets to Picard. That is hilarious, and yet not surprising. Geordi gets rid of the visor, right? And then you got what's his name? Data is fat and old now. I don't even think he wears the contact lenses anymore.
Well, yeah, Data said, well, I don't mean to get him too much of it. He said, I'm too old to play Data. Please kill me off. And they did in Nemesis.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
I'll
and
be
then-
back.
Anyway.
and then Worf, of
Kill
course,
me off. I'll be back. Right?
and then Worf, of course, loses his Klingon morality completely, and beheads a helpless person. But
Oh,
well,
man. Yeah, right. He's judge, jury, and executioner for the
Right.
Federation.
It's like
Yep.
they all just threw their arms up in the air and said, "Screw it."
And
Fine.
just give me the paycheck. I think that's what. They were
Okay, so
thinking.
would any of you guys actually want to get a massage from a robot?
Oh, it might be
No.
paid.
Well,
Well-
not with the claws like he has. No,
Yeah.
It depends on the hands, right?
Judy,
Yeah.
yes. Robot, no.
Right. Poor robot. He tried.
Yeah.
So that's where he's getting. And of course, this is also funny because Mr. Michael was talking to him about the game that they're going to be having. And Dr. Smith, of course, keeps flinching from the massage that he's getting because the robot's using its claws. So Dr. Smith is constantly reminding Maiko that he's not quite as tough as he puts across. And what I thought, the reason why I'm bringing it up is the looks and the reactions on Maiko's face, I thought were very hilarious. Because as he's talking to Dr. Smith, he keeps rolling his eyes because even he knows that it's a bunch of hooey. I'll put it that way. And I thought that was funny.
Yeah, well, that's why he played Smith like he did, because he knew Smith was like a total, basically a sucker, right? Just an idiot.
Exactly, right.
Figured
There he
him
is
out.
looking right there. He is looking very tough.
I just want to mention, I love that they were Maureen and Judy were doing laundry again, but I was very
Don't
disappointed.
do that laundry.
But it wasn't in plastic bags. Like, I was so disappointed. I thought they
Well,
always had it in
right.
Well,
plastic bags.
I guess they were towels ready for instant use. So
I
I
was
guess that's
wondering that
why.
too because they were like a tan color, and I was thinking,
Yeah.
okay, that's none of their outfits. So are they like sheets or bedding or towels? I
Yeah.
guess they're towels.
Yeah, but then Judy took it back into the Jupiter too, right? So it wasn't like they were going to be using it, anytime soon, it seemed. But
Oh,
anyway,
well,
I'm being nitpicky.
yeah.
Or
I'm
maybe
confused.
I
they're
didn't
long.
even notice the laundry happening, PvP,
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
noticed a bit more than I did.
Yes,
Oh.
and apparently the laundry machine maybe they broke down or they had to
Mm.
drop that off
Oh.
at the last planet where they had to get rid of a lot of weight.
That could be it. Yeah.
But yes,
No, that would never
they-
happen. I'm telling you right now. Oh, a woman's appliances that do most of the work for her, she would not give up.
So you want a
No.
laundry machine that bags the laundry automatically, right, Jill? I'm guessing.
No, I just want them folded. The plastic seems
Right.
wasteful.
Right, if they've got to get rid of anything, you can get rid of. Right, if they got to get rid of anything, they can get rid of a crew
Oh,
member
boy.
before they get rid of the laundry machine. So here's we have Maiko summons his superior. They don't really say the guy's name or who he is, but I imagine it's his superior, and he's here to let him know that the original Earthling that he had in mind to play the games will no longer be participating, but he has another one. But he's not exactly telling his, lack of a better word, boss. He's not telling this guy that it's Dr. Smith because the ball's already rolling. The show's on the road. And they've got to broadcast no matter what. And he doesn't want to let his boss know. And this is where Dawn and Professor Robinson are eavesdropping, and they find out the truth. And that is if Dr. Smith fails the games, Earth will be invaded and destroyed.
Okay, that's the confusing part for me. It's like when they wanted Professor Robinson early in the episode to be the in the boxing ring. They kind of, I think Miko thought, that the professor was going to probably win the match because he was impressed by his strength, right? And
Right.
then it totally flips here, and it's like now they want to destroy the Earth. Like,
Well, they could have been their attention in the first place, even when he offered John
That was
the fight.
maybe, but
Right.
I
It's
don't
just that
know.
now this is our first reveal because they saved it later in the episode, but I'm sure that was the plan all along.
Could be, yeah. I just thought it was a little bit confusing, but I guess that's just me.
Well, because his boss or superior, he said it to him. He said, "Okay, well then, if he loses, we'll invade and destroy." Like it's a common thing. Like that's what they do all the time.
Boy, there must be a lot of destroyed planets out
be
there.
right back. I gotta check some things.
I love this too. This is hilarious. Tiger Smith. Oh man.
Right. We get our introduction to the mighty Tiger Smith. Right.
Emphasis on mighty.
It was great. This also put the rating up again, this scene.
Well, and it's good they do show Maureen doing some finishing touches, because otherwise for us, the audience, we'd be like, where did he get that suit from? It's like Gilligan's Island, where did they get all his clothing from? So this is like, okay, where did they get the suit? So they're establishing that Maureen made it out of something, but it's handmade by her, which explains to the lettering or the font on the signature or the sign on the back, I guess.
Pop, real quick. Speaking of Gilligan's Island, are you keeping a tally of all the wardrobe changes on Marianne and Ginger?
Wait a minute, hold on. I think I hear snoring. Gorilla, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Gorilla, he asked if we're keeping a tally on the different clothing the castaways wear on Gilligan's Island. I would say, that's why I wanted Gorilla's opinion. I would say we're not counting, like, so-and-so has so many dresses and all that. But we do notice and mention when we get the same clothing over and over, or when they pop up with something that's totally new they haven't shown before.
Yeah, that's a better way of.
And also, Stone Racket, in my very first Gilligan's Island stream, the very first one, I cover the influences. There's two movies that influenced Gilligan's Island where Sherwood Schwartz got the idea from. And also during that first stream, I read a letter that Bob Denver had on his website. Well, it's still there. It's still up. A fan sent it to him. And theoretically, what it does is it explains how all the castaways got on the boat and how they got their belongings. So it explains why they have the wardrobe the way they do. and why, and why each castaway was on the boat. They all had different reasons. They were all headed to a resort and so on and so forth. I recommend that stream if you haven't seen it. And that goes for everybody else in the chat. If you want to know how all the castaways on Gilligan's Island got on that boat, why does Mr. and Mrs. Howell have so many clothes? Why do they have so much money? Why does Ginger have so many changes in wardrobe? All that is explained in that very first stream.
Yeah, they're all heading to a resort. So that's that.
There's a resort, right, that is owned by the Howells.
Oh, cool.
Exactly.
I'll have to watch that. I'll have to watch that.
Right. The professor had all his books with him because he was heading to a lecture.
There you go.
Ginger was there to perform. She was signed up to do some gigs at a resort there on the island, or at the resort, and that's why she had all the costumes. Marianne was there because she had won a contest. That's like, otherwise she wouldn't have been able to afford the trip at all. But she won a contest, and she was there to search for a man, and that's why she was dressed the way she was. So the letter goes into a lot more detail. I highly recommend it.
Okay, cool.
Right, it makes a lot of sense into what is normally the plot hole. Are you back with us, Jill?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, we're ready to advance the slides. And here's where we get our introduction to Tiger Smith. Gorilla, if you get tired and you need to bow out, let me know. It's totally fine. I understand.
Okay. I'm so good.
Okay. So here we have, I was talking about her doing nip and tucks and doing all the final finishing touches on his suit. And of course, Don is basically beside himself, trying not to laugh, which he pretty much does. I cannot allow you to participate in the games. And this is where he actually challenges him. Professor Robinson tells him no, and then Dr. Smith basically says, you can't tell me what to do. You have no power over me.
That's why I like this episode, because somebody's finally telling Smith no.
Exactly. And I like, right, they go through that effort, exactly, right. And that, which adds another layer to the story, because so Professor Robinson orders that Dr. Smith get locked up in this cage, and he orders the robot to watch him.
Where'd they get this cage?
I know. Well, it's from a previous episode, but they're not going to explain that.
Oh, I know. I know. It was left. Oh, well, wait a minute. That's a different planet. That blew up.
Different planet.
Yeah. The keeper would have helped, but nope.
Yeah, they got told to leave everything leave everything behind. And Dr. Smith was a stowaway, but yet he has all these new clothes.
Well, we're going to hand wave that away.
Well, remember, no, he mentioned that. We covered that. If you guys remember, towards the end, before the end, the first season, the costumers for the costume designer for the show made him that outfit that was kind of green. And then Dr. Smith in the episode thanked Maureen, saying thank you for the clothes that supposedly she made them for him. But the actor, Jonathan Harris, didn't like those colors. They were too bright. And he said he thought, plus he wanted to hide his fat and his bulges, he said, his hips and his lack of shoulders. So he told the costume designer to redesign him a suit that was more black to hide a lot of his, let's say, faults. So that's when they explained that when we had that duplicate of Dr. Smith, he gave the duplicate the green clothing, the colors he didn't like. And now that's why he's got black and yellow or whatever he's wearing now. So they actually did explain that within the story.
Well, I was thinking of his sweatsuit and the suit thing he had on before.
Sweatsuit? No. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Well, the sweatsuit or... Go ahead, Jill.
No, I have an idea. You remember the hermit that lives on the other side of the planet? Anytime they have items, that seems like they couldn't have brought it with them.
Oh, Mr. Narum.
Borrowed it from him.
Or Wally Cox, let me think.
There you go.
Well, it was either the Wally Cox. Yeah, the Wally Cox Churcher. That's the one. Because Mr. Narum took off. That's right. When the planet was breaking apart, that was the last planet. But this is the planet where they had Wally Cox. I just don't remember his alien name.
Yeah,
that's good point, though, Jill.
Yeah, he's still there in that cave with his bird monster. And his
he just said, I'm going to get out of your way.
I just want to ask you guys, was it just pure delight to see Smith in a cage here? Like, I just loved it.
Well, you can tell the robot loves it too, obviously.
Yeah.
Because the robot's really
because the robot's his jailer. That makes it even better.
Yeah.
I'm saving my excitement for one other scene.
Okay.
I
We
just
all
love.
know which one it is. We all know which one it is.
And I'll be right back. I have to tend to my dogs for a moment. I'll be right back.
Well, you're doing that. Edge of Time says buns of steel is not Superman's idea of a workout. No, well, it's a workout in a different sense. Geeks Flag says it is Michael Ironside's birthday today. He is 74 years old. Cool. And Edge of Time says I miss car surfing.
That
Well,
seems
Edge of-
really dangerous.
Well, Edge of Time, no one stopped you from doing it. I'm pretty sure you can find someone willing to drive the car if you really want to go drive car surfing. And Joel Greg says today's special robot claw massage, half price. Now is that the Korean massages right there? You know, with the certain ending, but we're not going there. Geek says, or Geek Flake says, Angela Cartwright actually did have an accent because her family moved to the U.S. when she was 1 year old. Oh, cool. Then Other Greg says, Papa has great information about Gilligan's Island. Yes, he does. And Other Greg says, Jill was floating around outside of the starship. The Defiant is causing dimensional rifts again. Is he referring to that shrinking episode?
Oh yeah, the little ship.
Or was he talking about the one where they created a whole new timeline?
No, once was a little ship.
80,000
It went on a
people?
little trip.
Yeah. And Other Greg says Jill's hermit theory is sound.
Is the best I could come up with on short notice because it makes no sense that they could have this giant cage.
Yeah, it's for the bird monster originally. There you go.
It works. The bird needs a cage,
Well, I won't give
especially
any
when they
spoilers.
go to sleep.
I won't give any spoilers for Jill, but wait till we get to season 3. You're going to be amazed at something they have on the ship by then.
Yeah.
Hey, Jill, I'm telling Bird that you said he needs to be in a cage.
Well, but he's not a real bird. He's Bird of Prey 5. He's he's a Klingon. I didn't say Klingons need to be in cages.
Well, no, but you said Bird needs a cage.
That gets back to Bird of Prey 5. He's gonna be enraged. Because Jill caged him. So enraged
Well, if
to
I
be
did,
caged.
then let's handle it one-on-one.
Yeah, Jill, he's gonna go full UPS rant on you.
It's still talking about having a cage match. Like, I just want to be clear on that. Like, actually, I'd pay money to see that. That would be entertaining, I'm sure. I love this scene, though. This scene, like, we're not quite there yet, but the part where Smith totally guilts the robot out coming up in a minute or so here. It's
that's exactly this moment. He's saying, look at all the great stuff I did for you. I have been so good to you, and you wouldn't be the robot you are today if it were not for me.
Yeah.
And
that's great.
Forgive me, Dr. Smith. I am truly indebted to you.
Right. It actually works. The robot does feel guilt.
Yeah. Poor robot.
The robot's becoming more human with every episode, it seems.
Yeah, well, he's hanging around with a lot of interesting humans.
That's for sure.
Rubs off.
Oh, boy. And then, of course, we know what happens next.
Well, I've seen people like this who think they've made you, and because of that, you owe them everything. It's like
of course, yeah, right, exactly. That's why there's a lot of people I won't do. I'm afraid I won't let them do favors for me, or we'll get this in return. So right, so this is hilarious, right? He tells the robot, "Let's shake on it." So the robot approaches him, and once he gets close enough, Dr. Smith reaches around and pulls out the robot's power pack.
Yeah.
And then steals the keys to the cage, lets himself out.
Well, you think
running away.
As he grows to have more sapience, that he would learn to hide his power pack a little better.
I know, but Jill, I think it has 3 prongs on it, so it can only be plugged into one spot. If I remember
But maybe you
correctly.
could make a container for it.
Yeah,
Welded on.
I still think that's a fatal design flaw to have the power pack on the side like that, where any alien or anybody can just come up and grab it, and then the robot's out of commission. Like, but it
I think
has to be for the
I think
stories, right?
I think it's a safety measure, like a dead man switch. But we saw in the first episode, the reluctant stowaway, where they were trying to grab it when the robot ran amok, and the
Oh,
robot
true.
was preventing
Yeah.
them from pulling
That's true. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
and they don't want the robot going full Skynet.
it. Right. Because we brought that up earlier in a prior episode. We thought for a dead man switch, you think they have like a remote or like a button aboard the Jupiter 2 where they could deactivate them, right?
Yeah, if they wanted a dead man thing, though, they could just have like a code they could just speak, like 4368 or whatever, and the robot shuts out or shuts
Yep.
down. So
Emergency
control.
cancellation Archimedes. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's the cancel code.
No, you need the code word like that one episode of Family Guy with the Russian sleeper agents there. That one Italian family. Now I can't remember it. Dang it.
No problem.
I'll remember it here. I'll look it up here in a second. Keep going.
So here we have Smith back where the games are going to be performed. I don't want to use the word campsite because that's basically, I guess, the Jupiter 2. But now he's back with Michael and the aliens, and he's preparing for his battle with the little guy. And of course, his confidence is so high that he's going to smash this rock just like the alien guy did. And unfortunately, he's not able to. Not only is he not able to smash the rock, but it hurts his hand, and it even needs Michael to help him remove the glove off of his hand. So they're, of course, they're reminding us and Mr. Michael that he's definitely not a powerful, threatening being, I guess you could say.
Oh, hey, I got now that what the robot's code word needs to be is, gosh, that Italian family at the next table sure is quiet. that was from Family Guys. The spies reminisce among us.
And I think this is what it was mentioning when I was reading from the synopsis, where it said a revealing crane shot. And that's what we get here, is where the camera pans out. And then we see that they have their, solar cameras, I guess you could say.
I figured out where the spaceship is. It's hovering above the screen and the camera. We can never see the spaceship because where else does that microphone drop down from?
Oh, that's right, the microphone. Very good point, Jill. Thank you.
Jill is brilliant.
yeah,
That's exactly what it is.
that makes total sense. Actually, that's cool, Jill. Thank you.
I'm surprised you didn't say, let's get ready to rumble.
Let's get ready to rumble.
And of course, Dr. Smith exudes with confidence because he sees his opponent over there is about 3 feet high. And this was kind of funny because when they ring the bell and round one begins, his opponent, right, he does get up and he goes over to Smith, just try to start fighting him. And Smith's not ready. He's having trouble getting his glove off. And he keeps kicking the guy. And I thought that was kind of funny.
That was good.
Appearances can be deceiving.
That was a good line.
And by the way, Monty, the little short guy there, was in several episodes of Lost in Space. This is not the only one. It said he would be seen on camera in several more episodes of Lost in Space, but always unrecognizable due to makeup or costuming. He would play a golden midget hidden by a face mask in The Dream Monster, and again in its sequel, The Galaxy Gift. He was a troll in The Space Viking and a little planet monster in The Flaming Planet. And here's where Stone Racket was talking about. Monty said in an interview during the first season that he was doubled for Billy Mooney, and he also did all of his stunts. He said, sometimes I got to perform on camera, and my favorite appearance is where I played a prize fighter named Geo, the mighty Mite from outer space, and I had to fight Jonathan Harris while turning invisible which was done by using camera effects. Which, yeah, I think we all kind of guessed that, right?
No, it's real.
You
No.
mean he didn't actually turn invisible? Here's another good scene with Professor Robinson
yeah.
again.
And this speaks about here a little bit of background on Maiko's boss, superior, the one that he summons inside the freezing tube. That's played by Peter Bracco, who played the alien leader. He was on the other end of the spectrum from Weber. He appeared in close to 300 films and TV episodes. He was 62 and had appeared in multiple episodes of The Adventures of Superman, Thriller, and The Twilight Zone. He also appeared in one episode of Outer Limits, The Invaders, My Favorite Martian, and of course Star Trek. Usually in minor roles, Irvin Allen would put Bracco in a 1964 episode of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, as well as 2 episodes of The Time Tunnel. A rare starring role was in the 1974 film Homebodies. Ooh, I need to search that one out. Chuck Robertson played the alien giant. He was 47 and stood 6'4". So we were wondering about how tall he was. With over 150 roles in TV and films, Robertson was a reliable bit actor and stuntman, and with his horse riding skills, having been raised on a cattle ranch, he was especially well suited for westerns. John Wayne liked to hire tall actors, and Robertson appeared in 18 of the Duke's films. For the Deadly Games of Gamma 6, Guy Williams was scheduled to work 5 days, as was Bob May and Mike Kellen. Billy Mooney and Jonathan Harris were on schedule for 6 days each, 3 for Mark Goddard, 2 each for June Lockhart, Marta Kristen, and Angela Cartwright. Ronald Weber had 4 days work, with the rest of the guest cast scheduled for 1 day each. All right. So here's where, remember that when Professor Robinson and Don were eavesdropping the night before, they heard that if Earth loses, that it gets invaded and destroyed. Pooch. Sorry, guys. And so Robinson basically comes to meet Michael and says, okay, I'll fight. Because he knows that if Smith does it, that will basically be the end of the Earth.
Yeah.
I'm trying to paraphrase, guys. Sorry.
Well, here
Well, that's good, but yes, go ahead, Gorilla. I think you're going to say what I was thinking.
Wait, I'm gonna wait a second. There's something I wanted to say here. When it comes to, oh wait, here, yeah, this is right here where he's saying you can't judge people just by Dr. Smith. There, the aliens think that like all the humans are like Dr. Smith, but a great man once said, "Let me tell you something about humans, nephew. They're wonderful, friendly people as long as their bellies are full and their hollow suits are working. But take away their creature comforts, deprive them of food, sleep, sonic showers, put their lives in jeopardy over extended period, and those same friendly, intelligent, wonderful people become as nasty and violent as their most bloodthirsty Klingon. Don't believe me? Look in their faces. Look in their eyes." You know, here they're talking about invading Earth. You know, you conquering it. You may be able to make a foothold there, but we will come back. You know, because we can get violent when we want to.
Well, unless they blow up the entire planet, and there's no.
Oh, they said enslaving it. They said enslaving it.
Gotcha. So here's where we have Professor Robinson. Right, like Gorilla touched on, saying that you can't judge the entire Earth by Dr. Smith, because obviously that would be a big mistake, right? That would be the end of everybody. So he accepts his offer to play in the games of Gamma 6. And at first, Maiko tells him it's too late. Dr. Smith already lost. A decision's already been made. But Professor Robinson convinces him to give him a chance so they could try again. And Maiko finally accepts his offer. In fact, this is where Will points out, that's right, Professor Robinson does fight Maiko here for a moment. Maiko challenges him to find out if he's capable, which he proves that he is more than capable. With the little guy, of course, that is. Because Will warned him that the little guy could disappear. So very wisely, John Robinson pulled out his belt And this
Yeah.
is where we, as the audience,
Wait.
discover, okay, he doesn't teleport, but he turns invisible.
Yeah. Wait. So, do you think that the purpose of making him invisible is so that they wouldn't show a person getting whipped with a belt?
No, I think it's because they wanted to show that he had the upper hand over Dr. Smith. They didn't want to show Dr. Smith beating up on a little guy, I think is ultimately what it was.
Oh, I got because as soon as I see the belt scene, I was like, they didn't want to show someone getting whacked with the belt there.
Well, I'm sure that too, yeah. Right, it was okay as long as he was invisible, then you don't see him actually reacting. But, so it was okay. But yeah, they're not going to show him hitting. Once the little guy appears and he's visible, they're not going to show Robinson hitting him with the belt, right? So he quickly dispatches the little guy, proves that he's able to win that little battle. And now, son, whatever happens, know that this had to be done. So here's where he's willing to do the Wheel of Life. And Will is concerned because he knows it's like Russian roulette. But Professor Robinson tells him that it has to be done because he knows that if he doesn't, then that means the destruction of Earth.
Yeah. Did anybody else do that? Like, since they said it take like only one chamber's loaded out of the 6, did anybody else like pretty much say, yeah, they're gonna wait till they get to the 6th one for drama purposes?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the rule. Always wait till 1 before you don't detonate.
Yeah, right. Because when they first talk about, okay, let's use the Wheel of Life, and if one of them would have said, "Never mind, I'll give up," I mean, we would all have been disappointed. That would have sucked. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think this is one of the best scenes in the episode because the tension here is unreal. How it just builds and builds and builds, and you kind of know that, Professor Robinson's going to be okay, of course. And I kind of guessed that Miko would, back out at the last minute. But I just love the dramatic tension through that scene. I thought it was really, really well done. And once again, Nathan Juran, as a great director, I think had a lot to do with that.
I agree too. So that's what happened. So Miko, the alien, gives up. So, and just in time, because Professor Robinson flips the switch on the alien side, and it would have shot Professor Robinson. So he has proven who has a stronger will, because basically the Wheel of Life doesn't test your strength or your agility, but it tests your strength, your wisdom. It tests your will and your courage. So I'm guessing it's like an adult version of that little gun he gave Will.
Yeah.
And he proved it that he has more guts than the alien does.
Miko is quite embarrassed, I think. Like he just his courage just breaks down, right? And I wonder if there were any consequences.
They
for
don't
him
say
with his leader. Yeah, but
exactly
I thought,
because he mentions to Professor Robinson that the cameras were active and all those millions of people saw the whole thing.
Exactly.
So he's going to have to answer to it. But but you're right. They don't tell us, the audience, what happens. And here's where Professor Robinson approaches Dr. Smith and says, "Let's go home." And then Dr. Smith, I'm guessing Gorilla wishes that would have been him to do that, right?
Hey, I don't care. This is long as Dr. Smith got the big old black eye there.
Yeah, I think all of us were really enjoying Smith getting a bit of a beating in this episode for a change. Like for once, we finally got to see Smith actually suffer.
For once, he's earned saying the pain.
The pain.
Oh, the pain, the pain, the pain.
My back is feeling rather delicate today.
Well, I'm pretty sure
My
his back.
eyes.
Hey, I'm pretty sure his back's feeling fine right now compared to his face.
Oh yes. So I've got to do a task here really quick. Did somebody want to walk us through the cliffhanger for next week's episode?
Hear that? We can wait and we could catch up on chats.
Oh, that's a good idea. Thank you, Gorilla.
Yeah, and Scurvy here says, "Ever seen Caged Heat?" I can say no, I have not. And then Geek says, "Skynet becomes self-aware on August 4th, 2024."
Uh-oh.
Good. We need a takeover here. And Taylor Swift's laughing. And Geek says, "Looks like a big brain. Look at that big brain on Jill." Greg says Jill always knows the answers, but she's polite and gives others a chance to shine.
Oh yeah.
And Greg says, "Remember to like and subscribe to Pop and the others who you might like, Gorilla and Jill or Stone Racket."
Oh,
Hey,
not
what
not-
about me? Am I chopped liver or what? Jeez.
yeah, not Stone Racket, PvP.
PvP or chopped eggnog.
I guess so.
Oh, yeah, Gorilla, Jill, and PvP and Pop all
Yeah.
have channels. I don't have a channel.
And Jim says hello. Well, hello to you, Jim. There.
Hey, Jim.
Hello, Jim.
And-
Good to see you there.
And so Tripp's
Hey,
second
Jim.
presidential nomination causes Skynet to activate Geek Flag. We're going full conspiracy theory here, which will be proven true in 6 months after. Jim says,
With the way
hello.
AI is going, why not?
Yeah,
Yes, I agree completely.
I think Stone Rack would be good to read this one.
Cool.
We may not be able to defend the Earth. We'll damn sure avenge it.
I
That's
cannot
right.
remember where that's from exactly.
That's
And-
rings a bell. My
Yeah, it rings
trivia
a bell.
my trivia
No.
computer is shorted out. I don't have an
Yeah.
answer for that.
Then I shall avenge you.
Yeah.
Also, Cod, I grow fatigued.
That's from the actual Star Trek episode Space
Wrath of-
Seed.
Yes.
Yeah. And other Greg's. Oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, I was gonna say go ahead, Bob.
Well, I was just gonna say, which all that does is upset Khan all the more, right? His ego. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, other Greg says awesome line from Con Lemon. He also had great pickup lines.
Well, I'm not sure about that.
I got
Hey,
David Letterman had a great pickup line. He well,
Oh.
at least on his show he described it. He goes, he'd come up to a woman in a bar and go, "Hey, I bet I can eat more donuts than you."
hey, PvP. He sure had that wondrous hot and bothered and Space Seed there.
I think Khan's pickup line was "Stay or go, but do as you wish."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he wasn't too startled, that's for sure.
Hey, that episode had the most badass moment for Bones.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
when he
Bones
had
is
that
badass.
scalpel right up to his throat there. And I
Yep.
suggest that you cut the carotid artery there.
Yeah, that was a
But,
good line. Yeah.
And Scurvy says, "Oh, Dr. Smith got it." Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And Jim's like, "Oh, the pain, the pain, the pain." And hey, Finity. And Taylor Swift, I don't know what the sign is.
It looks like steaks.
Yeah, those
That's
are
other-
5
Those
steaks.
are the beef steaks that Smith
Yeah.
needs for his black eye.
Oh yeah,
But there's 5 of them, so all 5 of us get a steak.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, like remember they had chicken one week. I guess now they got beef in stock. So who knows,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And, the Taylor Swift said Avengers. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And MCU.
They probably
You know,
got
it-
the
it
steaks
could be-
probably. Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh,
I was just gonna say
Oh,
they could
sorry.
be synthesized. That's what they're working on now. Obviously, is we have fake beef or impossible beef, whatever, all that garbage that I'll never eat. So I guess, but this is 1998 that Robinsons launched, or 97, but we're in the 98, the second season. So perhaps it's supposed to be some sort of synthetic meat. I'm guessing maybe.
Yeah.
I'm
Because
guessing.
obviously their stock's not going to last for 3 years, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
guessing.
some lab grown beef.
I was guessing maybe Cosmic Cows provided the beef.
Yeah. Cosmic ground beef. from Cosmic
that's
Cows.
true. Maybe it's like Oregon Trail. Maybe they go hunting, but in between episodes.
Well, that's all that. No, it's all the crap they wiped off the windshield of the Jupiter as they're coming through space. And Geek says Tony Stark said it to Loki in the first Avengers movie. Oh, gotcha. I got you.
Yep.
At the end of the universe lies the beginning of Swift.
Yeah,
Taylor
whatever.
Swift, that is.
Yeah, whatever.
And Jim says I'm doing some acting tomorrow and voiceover. Cool.
Yeah,
All right,
very
we're all
cool.
caught up.
Thank you, Gorilla. So now we have wonderful Penny. They just wrote out some sort of meteor storm, and they were hiding within the Jupiter too because they explained that it apparently just passed just off camera. So they came out to investigate and see what they find, and Penny finds some sort of pottery or alien pottery, which obviously, and Dr. Smith even tells her that he doubts that fell out of the sky. Otherwise, it would have been destroyed when it entered the atmosphere. I'm glad they knew that much, at least when it comes to science. And now we have another contraption that Will is overseeing here and working on. And we get somebody reaching in and stealing his tools while Dr. Smith is sleeping nearby next to a rock, of course. Once again, shirking his duties. And Will notices his tools disappearing, and he asks Dr. Smith about them. Did Dr. Smith take them? Dr. Smith is just blowing him off because he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't care. And then this is not the first episode where Smith is sleeping and a hand reaches from off screen and grabs him, right? And of course, the first thing Dr. Smith does is use Will as a human shield. And we get our introduction to next week's villain starring Malachi Throne. And I'm glad to see him. Joe, you remember which episode of Star Trek, right? Sorry, we always go to you for the trivia on Star Trek.
Malachi Throne starred in what episode of Star Trek?
Star Trek.
Or was featured, I should say, featured.
Well, featured, right? You know,
Yeah,
you've not heard talk, but yes.
From the first season, Jill?
Prominent role in, well, I'll narrow it down for her. He was in a two-parter.
Oh!
The Menagerie is the only two-parter.
He's the Commodore. Okay, I have a trivia question for you, Jill. From concerning Lost in Space. The wheel of life or death, as it were, the intense scene between Michael and John Robinson. What music was being played? Where have we heard that before?
I don't know. I wasn't.
Yeah, the first time we heard that particular piece of music was from the very first episode, The Reluctant Stowaway, and that is the countdown music.
That's great.
Yeah, it's cool. John Williams music.
Anytime John Williams does it.
Yeah, they use it a lot, but it's awesome.
Right now, he's Johnny Williams.
Well, yeah, right now on this series, Johnny Williams. Yep.
It was an appropriate choice of music for the scene too. It really went well.
Oh yeah, it went well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it built the suspense.
Oh, totally.
You got it.
I gotta say, Malachi Throne looks pretty awesome here. Like, he's looking real cool. That's a cool costume.
Yeah, it's a cool costume, and he's very
flamboyant.
Flamboyant, but he looks good on camera, and he's very imposing. Yeah. Imposing. That's the word I was trying to think.
Yeah.
He sure looks different than the Commodore. That's for darn sure.
And False Face on Batman.
Yeah, exactly. He's very right. He's very subdued in the Menagerie, but here you get to see him play a little over the top there. So
yeah,
it'll give you the chance there to get another side of Malachi Throne. Yeah, and also a quick mention is he did many voiceovers on many TV shows and movies. He was known for his voice as much as he was his acting appearances. I want to remind her before I go around and we each tell our review of the episode. I want to remind everybody there is a poll in the chat. If you haven't done so yet, please vote if you would like to. Let us know what grade you would give either this episode or our coverage of this episode. And then I will share that with everybody after I go around the panel here. And once again, thank you for voting. And if you enjoyed yourself tonight, consider hitting the like button. And if you haven't done so, maybe sub to my channel, as well as these wonderful people you see here on the panel, which we are going to talk to each one now to get the review. And once again, I'm going to go clockwise. Jill, are you ready?
I am actually. This is a good time because I do think I need to go help my child. So I'm going to give my review and I'm going to step away. So
All right. Give us
I
your review and
enjoyed-
tell us about your channel.
for sure. So I enjoyed this one very much. It was pure joy. And this one I really felt could be fit right in season 2. At this point, I'm used to the aliens appearing out of nowhere and announcing this very important thing and disappearing forever. But this time, they did so in a way that helped build up John Robinson's character to a pretty effective degree, I believe. And I appreciated his choice to not battle, and then his ultimate realization that he no longer had that choice when the fate of Earth was threatened. This is how you present a self-sacrifice story, and it's done so well here. I was mad about the microphone dropping from nowhere, but during the course of this live stream, I decided when you were complaining about the lack of a spaceship, that's where the spaceship is.
That makes
So-
sense.
It does. Lost in Space, it's still goofy, but when there aren't as many science fiction concepts to hold on to, you at least want your time to have been fun. And this one was fun. I really enjoyed the quote at the very end when John said, "We're a peaceful people by nature, and just because we don't like to fight doesn't mean we won't." And I know this is set in the 90s, and in actuality, the 90s wasn't. It was kind of peaceful, but it wasn't completely peaceful the way that they presented here in Lost in Space. But I like that Lost in Space wants to imagine that we're that way. It kind of gives a hint
Well,
of a Star Trek feeling.
well, Jill, this is because we were between wars during this time here. We were in actual time of peace because this was after the Gulf War, but before the Bosnia, whatever you want to call that.
That's why I said kind of.
Right, but they didn't know that when they wrote the show, obviously. Yeah, so
Yeah, right.
but
They didn't know
that's
any of
just
this
how it
stuff.
happened to turn out. Yeah.
And it still gave me a hint of hopefulness, like in the Taste of Armageddon when Kirk says, "We can admit that we're killers, but we're not going to kill today." That's all it takes, knowing that we won't kill today. Even Dr. Smith had the compassion for the wrestler at the beginning of the episode, which surprised me. It's a little out of character, but it was good to see, to just show how bad this guy was. I like to think Will is having a good influence on him. It's because of this that I almost rated this episode higher, but it only loses a few points because at the end they promised riches and stuff, and nothing happened with that.
You're right about that.
So the aliens made these promises and didn't deliver. But I guess if they won a trip back to Earth, we wouldn't have had a show anymore. So I give this episode an A-.
Beautiful. And tell us about your wonderful channel.
Yes, I have a channel, Antiderivative Jill, where I like to talk about science fiction. And tomorrow I'm going to talk about the original series episode, Whom Gods Destroy. We're on season 3. We have 9 episodes left. And so
Yes.
we're going to enjoy them. And for all of their idiosyncrasies. And have a good time. And yeah. And then I'll have a Friday show. We're going to review the movie IQ. And I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know what to say about it. That's all.
All right. Thank you. I have not seen it either. Thank you, Jill.
Also, it's possible something might happen on Thursday because Thursday is my 2nd anniversary. But I'm so
well,
busy, I'm not sure
congratulations.
if I do anything. Thank you.
All right.
The
yes,
2nd
thank you.
anniversary for YouTube.
YouTube. Right. Right. I figured you were probably married longer than that.
Yeah, a little longer.
Thank you for the review, Jill. I appreciate it. And once again, the wonderful job on the slides.
Thank
And Gorilla, I'm going to go out. I usually go clockwise, but I'm going to go out of sequence tonight because I know it's late for you. Would you like to give your review now?
I'll keep it like 10 words.
Okay.
Automatic A plus 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 for Dr. Smith getting the absolute crap beaten out of him on screen.
Well, I'm glad
That's-
it was able to satisfy you in that area.
Everything doesn't else matter. They could have played that on repeat for an hour, and I would have been satisfied. Or,
All right, and what about your channel, Gorilla? What do you got going on there?
well, we should be back on schedule here. Well, even though my broken bridges thing is still riding somewhat of a wave there. It's almost up to 2,000 views.
Yeah, well done. Great timing on that.
Nice.
Now most of the views are only 1 minute, but that's a whole different song. But but we're watching Justified season 4. I can't remember the episodes. On Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Then on Thursday for Cringe Talk, Slave Girls from Beyond Infinity. There.
Ooh.
Yeah. So then Friday, the Walton's episode we are reviewing is the 5-foot shelf.
Oh.
Saturday we are reviewing Return to the Lost World. And Sunday we are watching Ted 2. Then after that we're going to Flash Gordon.
But yeah, you're talking about the 80 something version, 84 or whatever, with Queen, Sam J. Jones, all that.
I don't know. PvP was what are we
Yeah,
doing?
yeah, I believe it is that version actually, Pop. I think we
Good.
discussed it last week, right, Gorilla?
Yeah, so yeah, because I bet you I didn't watch Flash Gordon when they had that one guy come on. You guys were so excited for that one guy to make a cameo appearance in Ted.
Well, I remember Scotty on a live stream we were on was talking about a
That's
Blu-ray he
right.
had, and it had the bonus feature of that film. So yeah, it's the '80s one with Sam Jones and the awesome soundtrack by Queen, which is one of my favorite parts of the film, actually.
The only good part of the film.
Well, it's one of those films. It's so cheesy. I hated it
It
the first
is.
time, but I watched it once or twice since then, and I kind of get a kick out of how bad it's creatively cheesy. Let's put it that way.
It is. Yeah, it is. Is there anything else you'd like to share about your channel, Gorilla?
No, just gonna be doing a bunch more shorts because I just picked up a bunch of sodas for craft soda shorts there and stuff.
Good idea.
I just made one tonight with my kids' little candy dispenser made at Cub Scouts.
Oh, cool.
Nice. I'm looking forward to those. That sounds great. And I want to thank you once again for helping me out with the chat tonight, Gorilla. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right,
Glad you got
go back to go what?
Go ahead. I was going to say, glad you got your internet working.
Yeah, me too. So I'm gonna go back to my nap here, so you guys will see.
Okay. All right. Now, how about, are you ready, PvP? Did you ready to give us your review?
Yeah, I guess probably as ready as I'll ever be. I just wanted to follow up on Jill said about there not being any riches given when Professor Robinson won the Wheel of Life battle. I think basically the reason that they didn't give Professor Robinson any riches was because Miko was basically a liar through the entire episode, I think, and he was so two-faced. I don't think anything he said, I think a lot of it was just basically outright lies to try and manipulate, the professor and then manipulate Smith and basically
Right.
manipulate I think that's his stock and trade as a promoter, just to look after himself and, just get what he wants through manipulation and lying. So that's what I thought. That's why I thought there was no money at the end for the professor. I'm going to give this one an A, solid A. I thought it's one of the best. It's definitely one of the best episodes of season 2 so far because we've had some pretty mediocre ones over the last month or so. So I mean, there's pretty much nothing in this I don't like. The story's good. The direction is excellent. Seeing Professor Robinson, Guy Williams get so much screen time and actually show off his really, really great acting skills for a change. It was a lot of fun. Smith, being his old conniving, two-faced, lying, cheating self was great. I agree with Gorilla. It was great enjoyment to see Smith, getting his butt kicked in the ring, and the black guy thing at the end was hilarious. And the robot had a lot of good moments, a lot of good lines. I liked that, they had the morality a tale about, fighting is not the way to solve your problems if you can avoid it. When he's talking with Will, and kind of educating him on the kind of rules of behavior in life, so to speak. It was fun seeing Angela Cartwright in the little scene when Smith was training, because she often kind of gets pushed in the background, like sadly a lot of the female cast do. So that was fun because I'm a big Penny fan. Um, and let's see, even Maureen got a good moment when she said to Smith, "You're testing my patience." Like, that was a nice for Maureen, and that's a strong, powerful statement for her character, right? So that was good. I liked. Oh gosh, what's his name that played our villain?
Mike Kellen.
Mike Kellen. He was. I thought he was great in the role. He really oozed like evil. He was just like really creepy. I thought he was a really good, effective villain. Good performance. And even the guest star stuff, in the ring, that was fun. It was all well done. And gosh, I think the only criticism that comes to mind that you know would be once again, poor Judy gets totally the short end of the stick and gets like almost no screen time at all. So I thought that was unfortunate, but it does seem to happen repeatedly. So and that's about it. I'm giving it an A. I'm not giving it an A plus because there are obviously a handful of episodes that I think are pretty much perfect. So I always keep it a little lower grade. But this one was just so good, I basically had to give it an A. So yeah, a very solid episode. One of my favorites of season 2.
All right. Anything you want to share about your channel?
Not much. I'm just always adding some music and playlists and stuff, and it's just random whenever I get around to it, you know, kind of thing. So nothing too new or anything groundbreaking to report, but I just kind of keep adding to it bit by bit.
All right. Well, I thank you, PvP. I appreciate your input. Thank you for being here
You're
tonight.
welcome. Always fun to be have the privilege to be on the panel, Pop.
All right. We're glad to have you here. How about you, Stone Rocket? What say you about this episode?
I'm going to give this one an A. I enjoyed it for being a strong episode for Guy Williams as John Robinson. Excellent scenes between him and his son, Will. So good opportunities for Guy Williams and Billy Mooney. And to reiterate what I said earlier, and also what PvP mentioned, the only trouble I had with this episode was not enough Judy. And
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, she got short shrift there. The humor was subservient to the story for the most part. It didn't get, it was a little silly, but didn't get ridiculous. And we had a really good villain in Mike Kellen as Myko. And I have a third version, or a third theory on why there was no reward at
really?
the end. Yeah, I think because John Robinson humiliated Myko so much that there was no possibility of him giving over any kind of a reward for that.
I wondered that too, if it kind of destroyed the games.
Yeah. And I thought this was a solid episode and a lot of fun. That's the main thing. It was a lot of fun, not too ridiculous, and some good, fantastic ending for this episode, I thought.
All right. Anything you'd like to share about your channel?
I have no channel.
I have no channel to bruise.
I have no channel, but I like to hang out on your channel and Jill's channel, and I just love hanging out with you guys, and thank you so much for having me as part of this panel.
Oh, glad to have you here. It's my pleasure. I really do appreciate your input. It's great. It's always great to get somebody knowledgeable on here. You help fill if it helps fill in a lot of the blanks for things that we can't remember. So,
And then
and I like the
and
trivia too.
yeah, I you you guys need to help me with some of the trivia too because I sometimes my trivia computer freezes up on me.
Well, I understand. That's how it is for all of us. That's why it's great to have more than one voice here because for something that one of us lacks, usually somebody else will pick up the slack, right?
Yeah. Well, speaking of trivia, you were talking about Malachi Throne doing voiceovers. What did he do for Star Trek?
For voiceover on Star Trek.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it
Well,
was voiceover as an alien, wasn't it, or something like that? Or wait a minute, wasn't it the episode with Dan Mulder? What is it? No, I
Return
can't
to
remember.
Tomorrow. You think about Return to Tomorrow?
Possible, but I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
Well, the one I was thinking of, there might have been others though, but the key one I'm thinking of is the one where he played the Commodore. He was the voice of the main Telosian.
Okay, you're talking about in the cage.
No, in the Menagerie in the Cage, I think the original voice is different.
That's what I was going
Uh,
to say because right, they
yeah, it's for
originally
the
it was him, and then they replaced it with the higher pitched woman's voice, right?
well, it is in the two-part Menagerie. It is Malachi Throne as the main Telosian. It was just modulated. I thought it
Okay,
was a deeper voice in the original The Cage.
gotcha.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Malachi Throne for the main Telosian for the two-parter.
I'm sure you're right. That's interesting. Yeah, they could have just
Because
tweaked it, right.
they had to have a new voice for the additional lines that are specifically addressed to Kirk at the end.
Yes,
And
right. Where the television gives them basically sets the offer where they can have Pike back, right?
yeah, he goes, you, they have their illusion and you have reality or something like that.
Yes, I appreciate that. Yes, that's excellent. I wish I had more time to look up more of what he's done because it's a lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot. But I know it's also running late for Jill and Gorilla. I'm gonna quickly close the poll in the chat, and then we'll cover that. I'll share the results with everybody. Bear with me, guys. And poll, here we go. And then don't leave just yet. We're gonna show the preview for next week, which is a really good episode. I mean, we have, as we already have seen, we're gonna have Malachi Throne next week, so that'll be nice. All right, so it looks like we have total of 12 votes. Excellent. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you participating. What grade would you give the Deadly Games of Gamma 6? And it looks like we got 66% with an A plus to A minus, 25% B plus to B minus, 8% C plus to C minus, and wonderfully, we have 0 gave it a D to an F minus. So excellent.
Oh,
So
I knew I
everybody
forgot to vote.
You forgot to vote. But it looks like everybody liked it in some capacity, and that's great. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Gorilla, what grade did you give it again?
No, that's a joke because I always have that automatic F.
Oh yeah, I meant seriously. I couldn't remember. Did you give it a grade?
I give it an A plus just for Dr.
Oh
Smith
yeah, A
to
plus
get out.
plus for yeah. Sorry, I forgot.
And I'm giving it an A. I enjoyed it too, and there's really not a lot I can say that you guys haven't already said. But yeah, excellent script. Nice to get a lot of participation from Guy Williams' character, John Robinson. It was nice to see more of the Jupiter 2 family. The Robinsons, that is, of course. Like Stone Racket says, it would have been nice to get more Judy. We always seem to get this short end of the stick, and I'm sure for her it was probably kind of rough. But, at least, like we've said, at least she still gets that paycheck.
Yeah.
And the guest character, the bad guy, great idea. It's kind of quaint how you can see where the budget is limited in some things with some of the props. Some of the special effects or lack thereof. but I still enjoy the show. It has a lot of ideas and it's got a great imagination. And even though as an adult now, I can still enjoy it. I enjoyed it as a kid. And when I knew I was going to be going back and reviewing and going over the series again, I wasn't sure exactly how it would affect me or make me feel or think, but I still like it, if not even more so. So, sometimes, at least when it comes to TV, you can go home again. So I do appreciate it. And I give it an A. And on my channel tomorrow night, first of all, I have to say, please join us tomorrow on Jill's channel. That'll be at noon Central Time for her review TOS, which I will be there for. I'm all excited for. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, we're going to be covering the 1968 classic, The Planet of the Apes, the original one. That will be in honor of my good friend Gorilla's Random Thoughts' birthday. I know his birthday has already passed, so it's a little late. But as they say, better late than never.
Oh, happy
And
birthday, Gorilla. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it only took 2 months, but we're good.
Oh,
it,
my
right,
goodness. That late?
now, right now, remember this is a Planet of the Apes. So what it is a semi-documentary about uh, Gorilla's future. Let's put it that way. So
Okay.
No, it's a family it's a documentary about my family.
that's right, the Gorilla family, right? And Wednesday we'll be back with 2 or 3 more episodes of Lost in Space, depending on the time allotment. Because last week we were only able to do 1. At some point, I've got to get caught up. We normally do 2. But yeah, if you can, try to join us Wednesday, 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Mountain Time for Gorilla's Island. And then if everything works out right, I'll be back Saturday with another stream of Rumblings from the Lab at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And I think that's it for my channel. And all right. So before we dip out, everybody, I'm going to show the preview. Oh, any chat we need to get caught up with. And I want to thank everybody in the chat for being here tonight. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you visiting with us and participating with the stream. I hope you all enjoyed yourself.
Oh, I suppose you didn't mean.
Well, I was just setting my book down. I was going to turn around and look
Okay.
to see what chat we had.
All right, so Greg says check out PvP's channel, and Jim's channel has interesting trick videos and content. Yes, it does. And Geek says this episode is an A. The panel gets an A plus as always. Thank you, Geek.
Oh, that's
Thank
nice.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And we get some flapjacks from Matt
Oh,
G.
the flapjacks. I was thinking,
Yep,
it
they're
looks a
flapjacks.
whole lot like something else, but and Scurvy was kind enough to put our channels in the chats here.
Thank
Good
you.
old Lemon.
Appreciate it.
And
Thank you, Lemon.
I'm still watching your last Saturday rumblings from the lab. Oh my, things that happened. Oh my.
I know. I apologize, everybody, if you were there.
Yeah, that was an entertaining one on Saturday for sure.
And
Whoa.
LDG puts fire in the chat there.
Yeah.
And good night, Oiler Greg.
Oiler Greg, the person that loves that giant spider.
Yeah.
That's right.
And Kirby says, I heard they gave Gorilla a cake, but he just violently smashed it with his Gorilla fist. Yeah. Oh my. Did he lick his fingers?
Ooh, I would, especially if it was chocolate.
And the Infinity here says, oh my. All right, we're all caught up on chats.
All right. Thank you once again, everybody, for participating and being here tonight. Thank you especially to everybody in the chat. It was wonderful. I had a great time. And let me get the trailer for next week all set up. I had a few more pictures of behind the scenes making up, but I know we're running out of time. So I need to start scheduling my time a little bit better, I guess you could say. So we're going to hop right into the teaser for next week. And I'll cue that up now. Is there anything anybody of you on the chat want to, or in the panel, want to add before we close this out?
Just thank you for having this great live stream for a classic show that we all loved as kids and we can return to, like you said.
Absolutely. I agree. Yeah, and likewise, I want to thank everybody. Okay, if I can hit the right button here. All right. Next week's episode. Have a great week, everybody. Stay warm. Drive safe if you're going to work tomorrow. And hopefully I will see you tomorrow on Jill's channel, noon Central Time, where we will cover an episode of Star Trek, the original series. Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good
everyone.
night.
Good night.
If it plays.
Introduce myself. Sheikh Ali bin Bad. Terror of the cosmos! Somewhere on your planet is a clue. Death to all Robinsons! Give me the bones of the thief.
Push him back, Daddy, back!
Don't just stand there, boy! What are you waiting for? Grab the map!